Chapter 0441-Mouth Escape. Lord Danzo, you still have the means, just show it. What nonsense. Lu Han teased. Also, Lord Danzo said a long time ago that I'm going to die today. But I'm still alive, I don't know. Master Danzo said, does it still count? The benefit of your tongue is when you cry. The benefit of words, isn't it right now, Lord Danzo? Anyone can play tricks. Trust me, you will surely die today. The two began to talk again. The legendary ultimate meaning, the art of mouth evasion, both of them can be regarded as masters of mouth evasion. One is scheming, the other is fast thinking. However, of course, the two of them are not idle and do nothing, both people who are watching each other. Euhexia in the sky is like a blood curtain. On the open space where the smoke and sand rolled gently, the two sides were separated by more than 100 meters and were in a confrontational state. On Lu Han's side, in addition to him, there were 86 Anbu ninjas, the worst being Jonin. All stood behind them, armed with weapons. On Danzo's side, besides him, there are only 23 root ninjas. The difference in numbers is huge. It seems that Lu Han has an absolute advantage here. In fact, the advantage is not that great. Anbu ninjas are numerous, but their quality is not as good as root ninjas. Secondly, root ninjas are a group of forbidden fighting machines. They have no humanity. It can even be said that there is no humanity in their minds. Concepts, a group of guys who are not afraid of death, are the most terrifying. Anbu ninjas are just outstanding, and if they are to compete with the root ninjas, they can't fight. Therefore, 86 Anbu ninjas face 23 root ninjas. Although the chances of winning are larger, even if they win, it is estimated to be a tragic victory, and it is conservatively estimated that they will lose more than half. In addition to these, there is another variable above this barrier, and that is Senju Senluo, who does not exist in the sky. This guy is a level 55 diamond boss. And after the previous battle with Boiling Yu, Lu Han already had a deep understanding of Senju Senluo's strength. If this guy's brain is not good and his combat thinking is a bit weird, his strength is definitely not weaker than Danzo. And now even if his brain is not good, he definitely has cage-level combat power. Although Senluo wouldn't really do anything to Lu Han, at most he would just pretend, but if Danzo asked him to kill Anbu's ninja, he probably wouldn't be soft-hearted. On the whole, Lu Han has only a slight advantage here, and now that the fight is going on, the loss will be huge. This is the reason why Lu Han didn't immediately order the action. He didn't want to lose most of Anbu's combat power here. In that case, even if he won, he wouldn't feel better. And the reason why Danzo didn't order to do it was naturally because he didn't have an advantage for the time being. I said, Mr. Danzo, it's not been a day or two that you wanted to kill me. We all know some things. In fact, I really like your state today, so I finally stopped pretending. Ha! Hengguang, you should also understand that you have been playing with fire, you should have thought of today. Really, what are you talking about? Why can't I understand? Pretend to be stupid, huh? You go to the grave with your secrets. Hey, it's really interesting. You said whether we're going to fight or not today, it's getting dark. Lu Han said and looked up at the sky. He was just pretending, but he was actually watching what Senluo was doing. Senluo Fei was in a very high position. The top of his head was already the top of the enchantment energy shield. When Lu Han looked at him, he was holding Kunwu and poking at the energy shield. The world of mental illness is really not good. Easy to understand. Danzo stopped talking with a dark face, looked at Lu Han, and blinked twice. He was thinking, should he do it now? Judging from the time, the Uchiha clan is also coming soon. If you start now, the battle will not be decided immediately. Seer Hongguang and others hold it back. When the Uchiha clan directly participates in the battle, there will be less changes. Danzo's goal is just cold light, Anbu. If he really kills Anbu and the others, he can't explain it to Sarutobi Hiruzen unless. Because Lu Han and Danzo didn't speak, There was a brief silence on the battlefield. Sir, Benin Hyuga, who was closest to Lu Han in the back, suddenly took a step forward and asked in a low voice, "What happened?" He still hasn't figured out what happened. He would unconditionally carry out the orders of Vice Captain Han Guang, but he couldn't hold back the doubts in his heart, so he asked. Lu Han just opened his mouth to answer, but suddenly seemed to be slow and speechless. He doesn't even know why. Danzo did it first. Lu Han replied in a low voice. That's all he could say. Hyuga Bonin immediately returned to his original position. Without further questioning, he said that it was Danzo who did it first. Hyuga Bonin couldn't ask Danzo why. It wasn't his turn to ask. Lord Danzo, I'm actually very curious about one thing. Lu Han said loudly, looking at Danzo from afar. Are you going to fight for the position of Hokage? Lu Han didn't ask why, just snapped his hat. It's all tricks. Me, competing for the position of Hokage? Danzo asked in surprise, as if Lu Han was talking nonsense, but his eyes flashed. Of course not. If you don't fight for the position of Hokage, how dare you attack Anbu, Lord Hokage's trusted troop? Admit it. It's all over now. It's no big deal. Your ambitions for the position of Hokage are as famous as your cheekiness. Humph. Stop provoking here. It's just you, not Anbu. Oh, in that case, I wonder if Danzo-sama will lift the barrier and let the ninjas like Anbu go out. You think I'm stupid? Of course you don't. Lu Han's voice abruptly stopped, and he suddenly turned his head to look southeast. The insight map shows that a large number of Yuhi points entered from the southeast, and at the same time, the big Yuhi point changed hands from Danzo to one of the new batch of ninjas. Konoha Uchiha Clan Chief, Level 60 Bronze Boss, Uchiha Yokoyama. The Uchiha tribe is here. They are here first. Uchiha Yokoyama turned out to be a little stronger than Danzo. Not good. Lu Han whispered to himself, clenching the sickle in his hand tightly. Chapter 0442-Sudden Melee. Are level 60 bronze bosses. The overall strength of Danzo and Uchiha Henshin should be similar, but after all, there must be a gap. Even if it is a slight gap, there will be a difference in the insight map display. Obviously, the rules judge Uchiha Yokoyama to be stronger. Lu Han is not surprised that Uchiha Henshin is a level 60 existence. After all, he has Mangekyo Sharingan. It is also the contemporary patriarch of the Uchiha clan. If they do not even have the most basic cage level strength, it is impossible for the Uchiha clan to compete with the Hyuga clan all the time. You must know that Hyuga, the head of the Hyuga clan, has crossed the cage level. The existence of the threshold, his Byakugan is not complete. Lu Hanyao looked to the southeast, and his breath subconsciously became sharper. They're here, Danzo murmured in a low voice, following Lu Han's gaze. Lu Han's insight map can cover a maximum radius of 10 kilometers, while the enchantment is only 3 kilometers in size. Therefore, when Lu Han discovered the arrival of Uchiha ninjas, they were actually 3 or 4 kilometers away from the high barrier wall. Apart from Lu Han, only Senju Senluo in the barrier could be sure that the Uchiha tribe was coming. A total of 389 people. Oh, are the Uchihas coming out of their nests? Lu Han's heart was heavy, and his insight into the map showed that all the large Yuhi spots had entered the scope of investigation, and it was easy to find out. The Uchiha clan is a clan without ordinary people. All members of the clan are ninjas. Except for some old and weak women and children, as well as ninjas who must stay behind, including some strong older generation, Uchiha can still have 389 people here. It can be considered to be out of the nest. Senluo, what's the situation over there? Danzo suddenly raised his head and asked loudly. High in the sky, Senluo was still holding the Kunwu energy shield. Hearing Danzo's question, he glanced down and said impatiently, it's the bastard Uchiha clan. It's about to come in. They're here. Danzo grinned. And the bastard Hyuga clan. Senluo said again. What? Danzo's face froze, and he exclaimed out of control. It's okay. Luhan heaved a sigh of relief and turned his head to look at Danzo. The insight map shows that just when Sen Luo said that the Hyuga clan was also coming, the southeastern edge of the insight map, a large number of blue dots entered, in groups. This team of ninjas was only half a kilometer away from the Uchiha clan. Still shortening. The Hyuga clan are all taijutsu ninjas. They are scouts and scouts. Simply comparing the speed of the road, not comparing individuals, and acting as a whole, the Hyuga clan not only surpasses the Uchiha clan, but also surpasses any clan in Konoha, and is the fastest. Lord Danzo, are you surprised? Luhan's voice was a bit yin and yang. Hangguang, you are really capable. Danzo's face was very dark, and he raised his head suddenly and asked, how many people have come from the Hyuga clan? You're so annoying. Wait for me to count. Sen Luo in the sky was super impatient. He was silent for a while, and then said, 311 people. He judged the number of people by induction. So very fast. Damn. Danzo bit Kiba and looked at Luhan again. The Hyuga clan also came out in full force. In fact, the Hyuga clan is the most populous clan in Konoha, with the largest number of people and the most ninjas, and the reason why there are fewer people than the Uchiha clan this time is because more than 100 Hyuga ninjas left Konoha a few days ago and were divided by the family. Chief Hyuga Haeyong personally led the team to protect the Kingdom of Fire. Lord Danzo, what other means do you have? Hurry up and show it, otherwise it may be too late. Luhan said lightly. Danzo kept his face blank and stared at Luhan. Call. A whirlwind suddenly rolled around Danzo, and an expressionless middle-aged ninja appeared out of thin air. Kaharu Udatane. Her name is Yuhi, but she does not show her strength level. She is the kind of hostile target who is malicious to Luhan and will indirectly hurt Luhan, but will not directly attack Luhan. After she appeared, she took 2 steps and 3 steps. Move closer to Danzo and talk to Danzo in a low voice. Danzo frowned and responded in a low voice. The two talked back and forth several times. Because of the low voice, Luhan couldn't hear what he was saying, but he could see that Kaharu Udatane was a little excited and seemed to be questioning something, while Danzo also seemed annoyed. This is... Luhan narrowed his eyes, his thoughts flying around. Kaharu Udatane seems to have a disagreement with Danzo on something, but it is difficult to analyze why. You have to make it clear, why did the Uchiha come here? Kaharu Udatane's voice was low and stern, staring at Danzo. You didn't tell us about this. It's dangerous here, go back and ask Lake Biwa, she'll explain it to you. I already asked her, she said everything was arranged by you. Let me ask you. You asked Uchiha to come here. When did you get so close to Uchiha? It's just to use them. Fortunately, the Uchiha clan was found, but Hangguang found the Hyuga clan. Huyang will never betray Lord Hokage. But he may be blinded by the cold light. You also know that Huyang is a bit stupid and loyal, and this is easy to be exploited. What did you promise to the Uchiha clan? No, Uchiha Yokoyama understands that the Uchiha clan is sensitive, he is very cautious, you can't persuade him verbally. I'll give him a chance to prove himself and prove the loyalty of the Uchiha. The two have quarreled. Like Danzo, Kaharu Udatane is also a person from that era. She is not less wary of the Uchiha clan than Danzo, so she can't understand, how did Danzo and the Uchiha clan hook up? Lu Hanyao looked at the two arguing with intense curiosity. What was he talking about? Luhan suddenly turned around and asked in a low voice, who understands lip language? Do you know what's going on over there? Captain, the elite Jonin codenamed Datong, immediately stepped forward and lowered his voice. They seem to be saying. Boom, boom. The sudden roar interrupted Datong's words, and everyone turned to look southeast at the same time. The fire shines. A large number of Uchiha ninjas have entered the barrier, and a small number of Hyuga ninjas have chased into the barrier, and they fight. Melee. Chapter 0443-regret. Sen Luo stood high in the sky and played with the kunai in his hand. There was a roar from below, and he tilted his head to look. In Sen Luo's eyes, in the southeast of the barrier, the inside and outside of the wall is already in chaos. The melee of 700 ninjas, the Uchiha clan who are good at Kaden, fire style attack and Sharingan demonic illusion, and the Hyuga clan who are good at defense and have Byakugan. One side is good at attacking, the other side is good at defending, the other side is good at demonic illusion attack, and the other side has amazing ability to see through. As they fought, they moved into the enchantment, which looked like burning lava, and was destroyed wherever they went. Stupid human. Sen Luo looked at it for a while, then whispered and withdrew his gaze. He felt a little boring. In the open space in the center of the enchantment, more than 100 people from both sides turned their heads and looked to the southeast. They could always see that the fighting ninjas rushed to the platform above the high wall. After fighting a few times, one of the ninjas took the lead. The high wall rushed down and entered the forest within the enchantment. It seems that both sides have been ordered to enter the enchantment. Stay away, it's dangerous. Danzo glanced at it, then turned his head and shouted at Koharu Utatane. At the same time, let's go, target Uchiha. Lu Leng coldly shouted and rushed out first. Danzo glanced in Lu Han's direction, then immediately waved his hand and shouted, go. Lu Han rushed to the forest in the southeast. He didn't use the Horaishin technique to go directly because he didn't plan to go there at all. He was waiting for someone. Someone he desperately wanted to kill. Hangguang, your opponent is me. The roar sounded from the rear, approaching rapidly. Lord Danzo, playing so much. Do you regret it? Lu Leng sneered, turning around quickly and slashing fiercely. The responsibility lies with you. It's not with me. Danzo and Lu Han fought with each other, then dodged and disappeared in front of Lu Han, appearing behind Lu Han, raised the knife over his head, and slashed down. You provoked what happened today. Don't falsely accuse me. Lu Han stopped Danzo's attack with a knife. Humph. I will do whatever I can to eradicate the scourge of Konoha. Who is the scourge? Danzo-sama, you are a shameless example. The two moved very quickly. While confronting each other, they moved towards the forest in the southeast, and they were still breaking their mouths. It was Lu Han who was guiding Danzo to go with him, because he wanted to kill people. If Danzo shamelessly goes to beat Anbu with big bullies, it will not be worth the loss, so if you want to pass, you have to bring Danzo with you. Not long after the battle, all the Hyuga ninjas and Uchiha ninjas entered the barrier, and a small half of the barrier was turned into a battlefield. Lu Han vs. Danzo. Uchiha Yokoyama vs Hyuga Tiger Young. Uchiha clan vs Shuga clan. Anbu vs Roots. The battle situation was generally like this at the beginning, but as time went on, the ninjas on both sides moved in the fight, the situation became more chaotic, and the opponents of the two ninjas also changed. Anbu would attack the Uchiha clan, and the Hyuga clan would besiege the Root ninja. Only the duel of the top ninjas, the opponent will not change. Because they are all very strong, their strengths are similar, and the winner will not be easily determined. Lu Han brought Danzo into the densest area of the Uchiha tribe, and then began to shamelessly rely on Horaishin's technique to get rid of Danzo again and again. Before being caught up by Danzo again, he would kill one or two Uchiha ninja. This style of play is very unethical. Lu Han is too strong, and the Uchiha ninja whom Lu Han finds is incomparable. It is too easy to kill. However, Lu Han, who has been calculated by Danzo from the beginning today, is not in the mood to talk about it. Moral. The other end of the barrier, far from the battlefield, at the top of the tall giant tree, more than a dozen people such as Sarutobi Lake Biwa and Koharu Utatane gathered on several adjacent tree branches. Everyone looked at the melee on the distant battlefield. Homura Mitokado's face was heavy, Koharu Utatane frowned, and Sarutobi Bawako's face was extremely ugly, just like her dead husband. Lake Biwa, how does this end? Koharu Utatane said, taking a deep breath and looking at Sarutobi Lake Biwa. I didn't expect that Danzo would find the Uchiha clan, let alone that Hengguang would find the Hyuga family. Sarutobi Bawako shook her head slightly, she regretted it a little, maybe. I should wait for Hiruzen to come back. Quote. Huyang will never betray Konoha. Homura Mitokado habitually raised his hand to help his glasses. But, as far as I know, Hengguang once saved Haeyoung. I don't know what he said to Huyang. Lake Biwa, it's too late to stop now. Kaharu Udatane looked at Sarutobi Lake Biwa with a solemn voice. You should clarify the situation with Huyang. I believe, he will believe you. Then how do I stop it? Sarutobi Lake Biwa smiled wryly. Now she is pessimistic and desperate. Because she doesn't know how to explain to Sarutobi Hiruzen. Although she didn't arrange all this, she was the mastermind. She also promised Danzo that she would bear all the consequences. And now in this situation, the cause seems to be irrelevant, the problem is discovered, the treatment method is wrong, causing huge losses to Konoha. Sarutobi Hiruzen must be furious. Outside the barrier, in the vast forest in the southwest. More than a dozen figures are moving at high speed in the forest. They all look young, but the speed is a little scary. In front of the dozen or so people is Konoha's most famous youth trio, Tsunade, Jiraiya, Orochimaru. Next to Tsunade was a ninja dressed as Anbu, with a mask covering her face. It was Hyuga Luo Ning. Although she was Jonin, she was the weakest among the group and had to be carried by Tsunade to keep up with the speed of others. Not long after, the high barrier wall was already in sight. That's. Jiraiya looked away, frowning all of a sudden. It's Izanagi, Orochimaru said coldly, he knew it. What's that? Tsunade asked quickly. It's an S-level psychic technique. Item Psychic, Izanagi's enchantment. It is a one-way isolation enchantment and is very powerful, but it requires a lot of chakra to activate this technique. Orochimaru continued, this is one of the many S-level forbidden techniques that we master at Konoha are forbidden to practice. Quote. Forbidden. Tsunade glanced at Orochimaru, then how could? Chapter 0444 The Geniuses of Konoha. Since it is forbidden to practice, it means that no one should be able to use this technique today. At my request, the teacher let me see some forbidden technique practices, including Psychic Izanagi. Orochimaru quickly connected, I am very interested in this technique, but the teacher forbids me to practice, and warning me, even if I finish this technique, I can't activate it. If I force it, it will only exhaust the chakra and die. According to the teacher's words, no one can activate this technique alone except the first-generation Hokage Hashirama, but at present, there is still one person in Konoha who can use this technique, and it needs the cooperation of other ninjas. Quote. Orochimaru has always spoken very little, but this time he said a lot. When he mentioned this, his heart was not at peace. Who would? Tsunade demanded. Apart from being able to do experiments at will, Master Danzo who can consult most of Konoha's forbidden techniques at will. Who else is there? Orochimaru glanced at Tsunade, the corners of his mouth evoked a faint sarcasm, and he didn't know who he was mocking. Orochimaru knows that Danzo's ability to master the art is related to the special historical background of that year. At that time, with the support of Sarutobi Hiruzen, Danzo spent a lot of resources to carry out all kinds of crazy experiments, even his own body. The ability to master Izanagi Nazen was just a part of the experiment that year. Danzo, sure enough. Tsunade's eyes flickered and his voice dropped. Han is right. Tsunade, what's going on? Can't you be sure? A clear inquiry sounded from behind Tsunade. We'll find out when we wait. Tsunade replied quickly. Who questioned Tsunade was a male ninja of about 23 or 4 years old. He was of medium height and thin, with a thin appearance. I couldn't see it. He was dressed in a very unique way. He had black sunglasses stuck to his eyes and a large cloth bag behind him. This person is from the Aburame clan, the most famous secret magic tribe in Konoha, and is the contemporary young patriarch of the Aburame clan, named Aburame Shanyu. Aburame Shanyu is now 24 years old, 3 years older than Tsunade, and can be regarded as the first genius of the younger generation of the Aburame family. Although his strength is not as good as Tsunade, it is not much different. He is regarded by the Aburame family as the hope of ZTE. It was not too late for Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Orochimaru to get the news, and they were all very strong. They should have arrived at the scene of the incident first, but they didn't. This is because they were looking for help. In Konoha, the Tsunade trio had high status, but they had no real positions of power, and it was difficult to mobilize them into an army. Therefore, the people they are looking for are all Konoha independent mission ninjas. 9 people in total, all of them are the leading figures of the younger generation of Konoha. They have a good relationship. They have all found them, and all who can come have come. These 9 people are all in their 20s and young, but they are all terrifyingly powerful. The young patriarch of the Aburame family, Aburame Shanyu. Hatake family swordsman genius, Hatake Taishuo. Leader of the younger generation of the Kato family, Kato Dan. The ruthless twin genius brothers of the Morino I family, Morino Iat, Morino Ibis. The Akamichi family, the Nara family, and the younger generation of the Jongshan family are 3 geniuses. This generation of Inoshika Cho trio, Akamichi Wanyu, Nara and Ma, Nakayama Waying. The lonely genius of the Mitarashi family, Mitarashi Kuromaru. There are many Konoha tribes. In terms of number, the big ones are Uchiha and Hyuga, the medium ones are Inoshika Cho 3, and the small ones are Hatake and Kato. These are all famous, and most of the small tribes are very rare. A sense of existence, but if a genius figure emerges from such a small clan without a sense of existence, it will usually cause a big stir. Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Orochimaru have been practicing together since childhood, playing together, and doing tasks together, but they also have their own social circles in private. Even people with a cold personality like Orochimaru have close friends like Mitarashi Kuromaru. Maybe they have the same childhood experience, they will have contact, and Jiraiya. There are many friends. All you can talk about are friends. Originally, the 3 Tsunade could have drawn more people. The 3 of them are highly prestigious among the younger generation of geniuses. Their strength is one aspect. They are also direct disciples of Sarutobi Hiruzen. But there is not enough time to spend so much time looking for people for a long time, so they only looked for the easiest ones. All of them are extremely powerful and experienced guys. The 13 people continued to move at high speed, getting closer and closer to the high wall. It smells of blood, Orochimaru said suddenly, his voice calm. Over there. Jiraiya saw it immediately, raised his hand, and disappeared immediately, appearing in front of a bush 20 or 30 meters away, looking down at the corpse in the bush and said, "It's the Uchiha clan. Just died. The bones are broken like this, there are signs of convulsions." No way. No, Hyuga ninjas. Call, call, call. Others all arrived at Jiraiya's side, stopped behind them, and looked at the corpse in the grass, all frowning. It's the gentle fist method. Hyuga Luo-ning said directly, her voice pretending to be cold. She turned her head to look at Tsunade and she said again, "Lord Tsunade, the Uchiha clan and the Hyuga clan should be here. Quick, stop looking." Tsunade waved his hands urgently. The 13 people hit the road again, speeding up to the barrier. Inside the enchantment of Lord Izanagi, the battlefield. Because the battle has just started, the difference in strength between the 2 sides is not big, and the ninjas have enough chakra, so there has not been a large-scale casualty. Of course, small-scale casualties are inevitable, whether it is Hyuga's family, Uchiha, or Anbu, Genbu, none were spared. "Lord Danzo, do you think Lord Hokage will kill you when he comes back?" Luhan dropped the words and disappeared in front of Danzo again. In the forest 200 meters away, Luhan relied on Hiraishin, who fell in the grass and appeared out of thin air, and then his face changed. Not far away, Anbujan and Katofeng was clutching his bloody abdomen, leaning against the tree with a pale face and holding a knife in his hand. His elder brother, Kato, who was already an elite Jonin at this time, stood in front of him. One fought hard against one Uchiha elite Jonin and two Jonin. Damn it! Luhan bit Kiba and muttered, dodging and dashing forward. Chapter 0445 _ The guys are amazed. Judging from the current situation, Anbu has already killed and injured several ninjas in this barrier, but Luhan did not worry about it, or think too much about it. In this chaotic era, ninja casualties are normal, and Luhan is not yet. As for being devastated by the death of an unfamiliar Anbu ninja, he's not that glassy. What he has to consider as the whole, the death and injury of individual ninjas, in his opinion, is worth regretting at most. But Kato Dan is different from Kato brothers. This was the first ninja Luhan had contacted in Konoha Anbu, and he had performed missions with them in the Land of Vortex and the Land of Water. They were also Luhan's sparring partners and witnessed the miraculous growth of Luhan in the first few months of entering Anbu. Luhan would be worried because of his personal friendship. Death to me. A figure with a ferocious aura flickered under the tree. The sickle was like a thunderbolt slamming down from the sky on a cloudy and rainy day, and the sound of breaking the air almost shattered the eardrums. With a kai bang, the sickle bombarded the ground, and the ground collapsed and splashed misty smoke and gravel. The rich bloody smell spread out suddenly, but the Uchiha Jonin who was attacked by Luhan had already exploded into a blood mist. Jonin is very strong, but facing the attacks of cage-level powerhouses, without the cooperation of other ninjas, let alone fight, they can't dodge. It's the cold light. Withdraw. The other two Uchiha tribe Jonin and elite Jonin have already reacted and retreated at the same time. They don't dare to fight with Luhan at all. This is true of any melee on any battlefield. If the opponent is too strong, they should avoid it first. The particularity of melee is also here. Find an opponent with similar strength to fight. Sir, Kato Kai cried out in relief when he saw Luhan coming. How's the injury? Luhan leaned over and squatted down to check Kato Feng's injury. Team, Captain. Kato Feng's breathing was very unstable, and his words were incoherent. His wound was on the abdomen, a deep knife wound, the flesh was rolled, blood was dripping, the injury was not the vital point, but the wound was too large, bleeding is also deadly. When Luhan checked Kato Feng's wound, no enemy ninja dared to approach. Within a radius of 100 meters, there were dozens of ninjas fighting, with a large area and few people, which seemed to be very loose. The nearby Uchiha ninjas subconsciously attracted their opponents to stay away from Luhan together, saying that it was a fake. Hold on, I can't die for a while, Luhan said quickly after seeing the wound, then got up and looked at Kato Kai. Take care of him, try to take him out of the battlefield, bandage the wound first, someone will come to save him. After saying that, Luhan quickly disappeared under the tree. The forest, Danzo was looking for Luhan. Luhan relied on the technique of Hiraishin to leave. There will be no obvious traceable chakra fluctuations, so every time Luhan disappears, Danzo can't find it right away. He didn't wantonly kill those weak enemies when Luhan left. Every time Luhan left they are short on one hand, on the other hand. The enemy is mainly Hyuga ninja. Danzo has concerns. He can show no mercy to Anbu, but it is difficult to face the Hyuga clan with a real enemy mentality. Hyuga Huyang this person. Danzo had to think more. So as long as Hyuga ninja doesn't take the initiative to trouble him, he won't take the initiative to bully the weak. As for the fact that Hengguang would kill Uchiha ninjas every time he left, Danzo didn't care about Hengguang's shameless disdain. He really didn't care about Uchiha's ninja's life or death, and he still had hope for Hengguang. Kill a little more, this will attract the attention of Uchiha Yokoyama, and it will completely offend the Uchiha family. At that time, Uchiha and Anbu will kill each other and die together. Danzo, who was moving back and forth at a high speed in the forest, looked for a while, but because the initial direction was wrong, he never found Luhan. Hengguang, don't hide your head and show your tail as a shriveled turtle. Come out, Danzo shouted angrily. Danzo was still a little embarrassed after being teased by Luhan all the time. Miss me, Sen Lang, voice suddenly appeared behind Danzo, and a terrifying sense of crisis enveloped Danzo. "I miss you, uncle," Danzo shouted back with a knife. Boom. Danzo's sword at the intersection of the two knives. Luhan multiplied the chakra to support the strange power of physique, and directly blasted Danzo out. Danzo flew backwards more than 10 meters like a cannonball, and suddenly turned in the air, turning into a cloud of black smoke, and then disappeared. Call. Danzo flickered and appeared more than 10 meters away from Luhan's side. He folded his hands together, and only 3 gestures changed to complete the understanding seal. Futon, wind style, Yinsuofe. Danzo, who had finished unlocking the seal, just opened his mouth and was about to launch an attack, but he stopped. Because Luhan disappeared again, appeared, slashed Danzo, and disappeared. The whole process was not at all sloppy. Danzo's face turned blue with anger, and a mouthful of old blood almost spurted out. This fight was so bad. Luhan appeared in another part of the battlefield, still in the forest, ran and watched for a while, and disappeared again. Luhan ran, jumped, disappeared, appeared, again and again. No one knew what he was going to do, but it seemed that what are you looking for? There are more people in the Uchiha clan, and the melee has only just started for a while. The difference in numbers will not be easily erased. There will definitely be, Luhan murmured while moving. ... At the same time, the enchantment is on the southwest high wall. Call. After another silhouettes rushed up the high wall platform, but it was Tsunade and other 13 people who arrived. The moment Orochimaru appeared, he threw his hand and threw kunai, directly hitting the halo figure in the middle of the platform. After a few, dang, all the kunai collapsed and flew out. It was obvious that the halo figure was a little nervous, but was not harmed. It's protected by an enchantment, Orochimaru continued, just experimenting. Everyone quickly flashed to the vicinity of the center line of the platform, and almost stepped over the center line to enter the barrier, and they all looked into the barrier. Immediately, the friends brought by Tsunade were all stunned. This is civil strife. Chapter 0446 when the death is in progress. The space inside the enchantment is very huge, with an area of 3 kilometers, and a town is only like this. However, the stone wall is as high as 100 meters, which is equivalent to the height of a 33-story building. The ninjas who follow Tsunade are all very strong and have good eyesight. Standing at such a high position, although I couldn't see the details of the battle in the barrier, I could see the general situation clearly. After all, 700 or 800 people were fighting, and that scene. The blind man couldn't see it. The Uchiha ninja and the Hyuga ninja are all wearing tribal ninja uniforms, and you can see that they are fighting each other, and there are hundreds of Anbu ninjas and Root ninjas dressed in mysterious costumes, all of which can be seen. Why? Nara and Ma, the young geniuses of the Nara clan, asked with a stammer, looking at Tsunade. This guy is dressed very well and looks like a talent, but as long as he is excited, he has the problem of stuttering. I also want to know why. Tsunade frowned. Looking at the destruction of the forest, the battle should have just started. Jiraiya glanced at it and said, the Uchiha clan, the Hyuga clan, Anbu, the Anbu root. A total of 4 ninjas. It seems that the Anbu and the Hyuga clan joined forces, and the Uchiha clan and the root joining forces. How could such a thing happen? Jiraiya looks calm, but she is actually confused. Civil unrest. The main 2 sides of the civil strife are the 2 largest tribes in Konoha, Uchiha and Hyuga. Remind you, after entering this barrier, we can't get out. Orochimaru said coldly. He also seemed a little uneasy, not surprised or confused, but his eyes were a little hot. A famous militant, encountering such a scene, naturally excited. Go in. Tsunade didn't hesitate too much, looked at him a few more times, waved his hand forward, and entered the barrier first. Then, who are we helping? The person who asked was another famous militant, Aburame Shanyu. Help you a big head. Tsunade said quickly, angrily, stop it. Before the loss is small, we have to stop them. Are you sure you can resolve their conflict? Orochimaru glanced at Tsunade. Tsunade was silent. What Orochimaru is asking is the key, stop it, and say with your mouth that anyone can do it. Can you do it? This is not a battle of a handful of people, but a life and death struggle of 700 or 800 people from the core forces of Konoha. Tsunade's dozen people, not including Hyuga Luo-ning, are extremely powerful. But after all, there are few people, and it is very difficult to control the situation. Inside the Enchantment Forest battlefield. In just half a minute, Luhan walked back and forth over most of the battlefield, and finally stopped. He found what he wanted, standing in the dense canopy of the towering tree without any breath. More than 100 meters ahead, there is an open space. In the open space, Hyuga Huyang, the chief of the main clan of the Hyuga clan, is fighting with Uchiha Yokoyama, the chief of the Uchiha clan. It is said that the battle has just begun. At the beginning of the battle, there is naturally no reason to enlarge the move. That is a waste of chakra. After all, the opponent's chakra is sufficient. Their fighting method at this time is the same as Luhan and Danzo's fighting method, tentative melee combat. Although the fighting method is very simple, the strength of the two is too strong. They can smash large rocks with a casual knife, and can kick a towering tree with a casual kick. Every movement and stillness contains great power. This piece of open space, that's what they called. However, Luhan's goal was not Uchiha Henshin, but at the edge of the clearing was a forest, where more than 30 Uchiha ninjas gathered in a loose defensive formation. Of course, they were not without anything to do, they were fighting with the clearing. More than 24 Hyuga ninjas gathered at the other end face off. All are high-level ninjas with the strength of at least Jonin. One side is the Hyuga main clan Patriarch Guard, and the other is the Uchiha Patriarch Guard. The target Luhan found was the Uchiha Patriarch's Guard. Uchiha ninjas who gathered together. The Uchiha Patriarch Guards just met this condition. There are actually 3 super elites. Luhan glanced at the Yuhi name above the heads of the more than 30 Uchiha ninjas, and subconsciously raised his hand and touched his chin, feeling a little awkward. The Uchiha Patriarch's Guard is too strong. It seems a little dangerous to engage in raids. If he gets stuck and gets dragged, Danzo will definitely come over if there is any movement. Luhan doesn't want to give Danzo a chance to sneak attack. If you use Jinghong Peerless, the insurance is insurance, but it's a waste, but I just want to kill a few more people at a time, and I can't do it. It's a pity that I can't use Shikatsumiku, Dead Bone Pulse, here. Then, should, quote. Luhanya looked at it, narrowed his eyes slowly, and then disappeared. A group of Uchiha ninjas gathered together, watching the battle situation in the open space, and at the same time guarding against the more than 20 Hyuga ninjas on the opposite side. In fact, they were ordered by Uchiha Yokoyama to assist in the battle. Uchiha Yokoyama has not fought with Hyuga Tiger for many years. Young played against each other. It was difficult to estimate the strength of Hyuga Huyang, and he was afraid, so he made this arrangement. Total of 33 Uchiha ninjas. The one standing at the forefront is a male ninja of about 40 years old, with a white face and a hooked nose, and a cold temperament. This person is named Uchiha Lanshin. The captain of the guard is extremely powerful. Call. Uchiha Blue Mountain suddenly felt chakra fluctuations behind his back, and looked back directly. The whirlwind rolled up, carrying white smoke. Someone came and appeared directly in the middle of the ninjas of the guards. Uchiha Lanshin frowned subconsciously, and then his face changed dramatically. The person who came was actually an Anbu ninja, and he was currently the most famous ninja in Anbu, Vice Captain Han Guang. Han Guang actually appeared directly in the Uchiha Patriarch's Guard. It's still the basic instant body technique. Just crazy. Be careful. Kill him. It's really courting death. Sounded all around, and several glimpses rushed directly in front of Luhan, and some Uchiha ninjas chose to retreat one after another to keep a distance, while Uchiha Lanshin was staring at Luhan, and the 3 Tomo Sharingan in his eyes were spinning. Demonic illusion. As soon as Luhan appeared, he had already stepped into the gate of hell with 1 foot. Chapter 0447-Suicide Attack. The speed of Luhan's appearance is not fast. He appears in the most gentle way, which is not easy to cause alertness. If he appears in the way of dashing and flashing, it will always make people feel dangerous and murderous. Ninjas have a strong 6th sense. Time seems to be slowing down. The wind is spinning, the white smoke is rising, Luhan's figure is looming in it. Everything is very slow, only his hand is fast. He is in the hand seal, a very complicated seal. All the Uchiha ninjas around have spotted him. Uchiha ninja who was very close also rushed to Luhan's side, stabbing all his knives at his vital point. Luhan didn't hide, he was still in the hand seal, and at the same time he noticed that Uchiha Blue Mountain, who was looking at him, launched the Sharingan demonic illusion. 3 kunai penetrated his body at this moment, and 2 kunai pierced his body. The body, but did not penetrate, because it was stabbed in his bones. Luhan is still in hand seal. Due to being attacked by demonic illusion, his 3 Tomo Sharingan passively emerged, and he took advantage of the situation to launch the Samok illusion. Time is still very slow. A look of shock appeared on Uchiha Lanshin's face. He saw Luhan's Tomo Sharingan, but he only saw it for a moment. After that, he fell into the illusion of Samoki's illusion. In the Sharingan demonic illusion in the confrontation, he lost to Luhan. Blood is splashing. 2 knives pierced Luhan's body, and at this moment, Luhan finally completed the hand seal. Everything is very complicated, and it actually happened in a very short period of time. Whoa! Futon wind-style chakra swirls around Luhan, like a barrier protecting Luhan, directly cutting off the 2 knives inserted into his body, making everyone on the battlefield feel terrifying. Chakra fluctuations rose up. Futon wind-style, the art of flower rain cutting. Scoff. The lotus is blooming. Futon wind-style chakra that surrounds Luhan is blooming like a lotus flower. This moment is very beautiful. But after this moment, it seems like endless murderous intent. Laugh, 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 laugh. The sky is like a rain of flowers, and countless wind blades are flying around, 360 degrees without blind spots and indiscriminate group attacks. Each wind blade is only the size of a palm, flat and slightly twisted, like a lotus leaf. The power of these lotus leaf wind blade attacks is not too strong. But it is very sharp, the rate of fire is very fast, and more importantly, there are many. It seems that every moment, there are tens of thousands of wind blades flying around. Terrifying to mind-numbing attack. Around Luhan, the 5 or 6 Uchiha ninjas closest to Luhan were all directly chopped up. They didn't even have time to react, and the Uchiha ninja, who was a little farther away from Luhan, also reacted, but he was completely unable to dodge and defend against this technique. Chopped, chopped. The lotus flowers are in full bloom, and the huge lotus flowers that are purely composed of the combination of lotus leaves and wind blades are blooming, reaching a height of tens of meters. The roar sounded. Within 100 meters of Luhan, everything was attacked, bluestone, grass, trees, and people. Everything that could not be avoided was cut into pieces. No one could avoid it at all, and defense was even more impossible. Even an A-level Doden, Earth-style, defensive ninjutsu could not resist tens of thousands of wind blade attacks. It can resist for a moment, and then it will be broken. Hundreds of falling objects flew almost at the same moment, accompanied by a golden light that only Luhan could see. S-level futon, wind-style, group attack forbidden technique, the technique of cutting flowers and rain. Its power has exceeded Luhan's imagination. This is Luhan's first use. Before, he only knew the principle and approximate effect. The amount of chakra consumed was beyond Luhan's imagination. He can feel that his chakra has decreased by more than 30% in an instant, and may even reach 40%, and it is still being consumed, but the continuous chakra output in the later stage is not as intense as it was at the beginning. This technique, hand seal, takes a long time, and the chakra fluctuates too strongly before the outbreak of its power. It's not obvious to remind the opponent. It's not suitable for dueling with the strong. This chakra consumption is too fast. Change it. Other ninjas, using this technique, are like killing. Can they recover chakra quickly? Lu Han's thoughts flashed. He had some broken thoughts in his heart, but at the cost of many injuries, he got the opportunity to release this ninjutsu among the Uchiha Patriarch's guards. As a result, although he achieved his goal, it took too much investigation. Lu Han was not satisfied. But this technique has already brought a strong inner shock to everyone on the entire battlefield. Everyone saw it, including Tsunade and others who were rapidly approaching the battlefield. The blooming lotus was too huge. The biggest shock was Hyuga Huyang and Uchiha Yokoyama, who were not far from Lu Han. Both of them were affected. The spread of the flower and rain cutting technique had to temporarily stop fighting and move in different directions to avoid. Both were stunned. Hyuga was stunned because he saw that Han Guang was stabbed in the heart. Uchiha Yokoyama was embarrassed, because all 33 excellent ninjas of Uchiha in his entire guard team were eliminated. The entire guard, in an instant, all dead. The technique of cutting flowers and rain only lasted for a few seconds, and then the huge lotus flower formed by the wind blades of lotus leaves gathered and dissipated into nothingness. Everything is at peace. The bloody smell is a bit choking. Lu Han was empty, and there was nothing within 100 meters around him. It is worth mentioning that the ground under his feet was a piece of fresh yuhi. These fresh yuhi were the 33 ninjas of the Uchiha tribe. They were chopped up first. Cut again, cut for a few seconds, and it all turned into something more pulpy than meat-chan. Call. Danzo appeared on a tree more than 100 meters behind Lu Han's side and looked at Lu Han with a shocked expression. There are two reasons for the shock. First, he did not expect that Han Guang could unleash such a powerful futon, wind-style ninjutsu. Second, he couldn't figure it out. Why did Han Guang kill the Uchiha Patriarch's guard at the cost of his life? Yes, from Danzo's point of view, Lu Han is killing people at the cost of his life. The half-cut blade has penetrated his heart, and everyone can see it. Elf, what was the golden light just now? Lu Han sighed in relief and asked in his heart. Subversive 3665 has completed 2 achievements. The wizard replied. Chapter-441-460 Group Kill. As a subversive, Lu Han will drop items when he kills a hostile target, and the appearance of items is accompanied by heavy visions. Visions that only Lu Han can see. First kill, non-first kill, leapfrog kill, skill kills, diamond first kills, diamond non-first kills, special boss kills. Different kills have different visions. At the beginning, Lu Han didn't pay attention to the difference between the visions, but now, he has been in the Hokage world for a year and a half. With experience, he can naturally distinguish. Group killed the Uchiha Patriarch's guards, and killed 33 high-level ninjas in seconds, including 3 super elite Jonin. At that time, the dropped objects exploded in a collective manner, and the accompanying visions were very different. But he did not expect that the vision actually represented 2 achievements. Lu Han's heart was hot in an instant. Achievement. Hardest reward ever. Because Lu Han doesn't know how to complete the achievement, he can only try his luck. His Sword of Astonishment is obtained from the achievement reward, and he obtains 4 fragments successively by relying on the achievement reward, and exchanges them out. It can be said that the achievement reward has always been its all extraordinary. But, what kind of achievement reward? Is it a group kill? Lu Han asked quickly in his heart. It's mass killing, replied the elf. But, I've already won the achievement reward for killing 15 people at the same time and killing 30 people at the same time. This time it's still the achievement reward for group killing 15 people, and the achievement reward for group killing 30 people. The difference is that this time it's a high-level group kill. The elf explained, all the goals of subversive 3665 feet S group kill this time or hostile targets equal to or higher than tier 30, thus triggering the advanced mass kill achievement reward. Quote. What about the reward? What reward? Luhan asked anxiously, his heart was already overjoyed. Unexpected joy. Half-Life was all in. At the time, Luhan just wanted to trick Uchiha and break the balance on the battlefield, but now, he has done it. 2 kinds of achievement rewards, which is really a pleasant surprise. The high-level achievement reward for killing 15 people in a group is an item reward, please check it out for subversives. The high-level achievement reward for killing 30 people in a group. In order to increase the holdings, the subversive will get an extraordinary special explosion rate when he kills the boss title target next time. The items will be randomly dropped. This. Luhan blinked his eyes blankly. He skipped the first paragraph of the elf's words. Since it was an item reward, it must have been among the hundreds of dropped items. Luhan has no time to find it now. The second paragraph. The reward is so special. This is forcing me to kill Danzo. Luhan felt strange. He felt that it was as if someone was leading the giving of achievement rewards. The next time he killed the boss target, he would have an extraordinary special explosion rate. This is just right for Danzo. Not killing Danzo would be a waste. This guy Danzo has too many secrets. Killing him, even if it's not the first kill, might reveal something good. The middle of the blood plasma. Luhan, who had released the S-level futon, wind-style forbidden technique, was panting violently, blood was pouring from his abdomen and under his ribs. Of course, the most important injury was the penetrating injury to his heart, which was fatal. Although the strength has reached the level of cold light, the heart is penetrated, and it will not immediately fall to the ground and twitch twice and die, but it is definitely impossible to live. The momentum of the flower rain cutting technique was too great, and the ninjas fighting on the entire battlefield had stopped, and some powerful people all rushed to the scene of the incident. The cold light looked like it was going to die. Because after finishing the release of ninjutsu, he didn't move again, his eyes were a little confused, and the fluctuating breath showed that his state was extremely bad. In fact, Luhan was just talking to the elves. His situation is really bad. The terrifying flower and rain cutting technique actually consumes 60% of the chakra. In addition to the consumption of the previous fight with Danzo, Luhan's total chakra is already less than 30%. 37% of his blood volume due to injuries such as multiple penetrations in his body, heart damage, and excessive blood loss. Luhan has not been so miserable for a long time, not even the boiling rain. Normally, a powerhouse like him would not pay such a price easily, and of course, few cage-level powerhouses would commit suicide attacks. This kind of desperate play made it difficult for everyone present to understand. This open space widened a lot because of Luhan's attack. More and more people gathered around the open space, divided into groups to keep a distance from each other. Anbu's ninjas also arrived, looking at Luhan's situation, speechless, he was stunned. The battle has only just started, how could Captain Hengguang just? Luhan finally came back to his senses, his head moved a little, and then he raised his hand, first pulled out the 2 kuwu sticks inserted in his body, and then pinched the broken blade inserted in his heart in front of him, and slowly pulled it out. It really hurts. Not only Luhan hurts, but everyone else hurts. Hengguang. Why? A hoarse roar suddenly sounded, but it was Uchiha Yokoyama standing on the other side of the battlefield. After the initial shock, this guy has now entered a state of madness, with red eyes Yuhi, staring at Luhan with extreme hatred and incomprehensible eyes. Although his eyes were congested under his anger, he had not completely lost his mind because of this, and he did not rashly approach the cold light. Because Hengguang is a dying person, it is only a moment later, there is no need to make trouble. Of course there is another reason, the cold light of dying is extremely terrifying. Everyone is going to die, I don't have any scruples, I rush up at this time. Are you afraid of self-destructing with you in my arms? Uchiha Yokoyama's heart ached, bleeding from the pain, and he couldn't figure it out even more. Why? Why exactly? Han Guang completed this suicide attack at the cost of his own life, and his behavior was incomprehensible to anyone present. Uchiha Yokoyama's problem is not his problem, but the problem of everyone present. You are the enemy. Lu Han raised his head and gave Uchiha Yokoyama and everyone present the answer in the simplest words. Uchiha Yokoyama looked like he was about to bite his mouth full of kiba. What the hell is this answer? Cold, cold, the woman's unbelievable exclamation suddenly sounded. Tsunade is here. Chapter 0449 _ he is a traitor. Tsunade's heart seemed to be hit by a heavy hammer, and he almost didn't catch his breath, and a roar sounded in his mind. As soon as she brought people to the vicinity of the open space, she saw the scene of Lu Han pulling the knife out of her heart. The whole person seemed to lose her mind and screamed. She even forgot that Lu Han was the deputy captain of Anbu. Here, called Lu Han's real name came out. It's so slow. Lu Han murmured something in his heart and completely pulled out the broken knife stuck in his heart, took a deep breath, and looked at Tsunade. The edge of the forest in the distance, Tsunade stared at Lu Han with wide eyes. The slender Anbu ninja beside her was as immobile as if struck by lightning. The others did not react so much. Except for Jiraiya and Orochimaru, the other 9 young ninjas are mostly confused about the current situation. Danzo saw that Tsunade came and brought strong support, his face changed slightly, his eyes flashed, and he didn't know what to think. After Lu Han pulled out all the weapons that had been inserted into his body, he controlled the bleeding. Others couldn't see this change because Lu Han was covered in blood. How? Tsunade's throat seemed to be blocked, Yuhi's eyes were full of circles, and he just stepped up. Don't come here. Be careful around. Lu Han shouted quickly. He was very worried. Tsunade rushed over, and he was confused. Will Danzo attack? If Danzo really wants to compete for the position of Hokage, he can do anything. He previously assigned Tsunade and the 3 to leave Konoha. From this point of view, he is by no means kind to the 3, but he does not dare to act rashly on the 3. The name is not right. But if the 3 of them died in the country of rain, they would definitely not be able to find Danzo's head. And now, Tsunade and the others not only came back, but also brought reinforcements. Those young geniuses, no one who was present didn't know each other. It's hard to say what Danzo will do. Tsunade stopped subconsciously, and immediately heard Lu Han say, "It's okay, I can't die. I won't die." Although there was some weakness in his voice, it wasn't weak. Can't die. Everyone present was stunned for a moment, and the situation suddenly became a little delicate. Cold Light won't die. Since he said it, the people around him believed it, otherwise there would be no reason to refuse Tsunade's rescue. It is not impossible to be stabbed in the heart and not die. From the Sengoku era to the present, there have been many such characters in the ninja world, either with special physiques, special chakras, or master's special skills. Do not die if the ki is damaged. Since Han Guang is from Anbu, the latter is more likely. Perhaps it is some kind of forbidden technique that is enough to make him not afraid of this level of physical trauma, but similar techniques have harsh cultivation conditions, strong side effects, and even pay the price of reducing strength. Originally, everyone present thought that this incident would end today. The Uchiha clan was killed by the entire Patriarch's guard. With Uchiha Yokoyama's character, he would definitely not let it go, but the cold light was at the cost of his life. If you die, the chances of the fight going on are low. But now, Han Guang will not die. That. Jiraiya had already walked to Tsunade's side, raised her hand to hold Tsunade's shoulder, and tilted her head to signal Tsunade to pay attention to her surroundings. Seeing Lu Han's miserable appearance, Tsunade slowly clenched his fists, his eyes were full of yuhi, and his body trembled with excitement. What the hell is going on? Tsunade screamed angrily. She only saw that Lu Han was severely injured and miserable, but she didn't know what an incredible raid Lu Han completed and what kind of return he got. Anger is inevitable. There was silence around, and the camp was clear, but they were only alerting the surroundings, and no one dared to do anything at this moment. In fact, most of them don't know what's going on. I don't even know which side Tsunade is on. Tsunade is not scary alone, but the people around her are a very terrifying force. No one dared to act rashly. Old thief Danzo's ambition is to subvert Lord Hokage's leadership of Konoha. He is a villain. Lu Han opened his mouth and put the big hat on Danzo's head, raised his finger and pointed. He did it first. Cough, cough. After Lu Han said that, he coughed. In fact, his injuries were recovering rapidly, and he didn't cough at all. Coughing is intentional, pretending to be miserable, and debate has an advantage. Danzo has become the center of attention, and everyone is looking at him. Lord Danzo, what's your explanation? Tsunade stared at Danzo. She was not enough to question Danzo, but at this time, the violent Tsunade brought a group of terrifying new forces. It seemed, if Danzo didn't answer, the gang fight will happen soon, and no one thinks Tsunade is asking a problem. I don't deny it, I did it first. Instead, Danzo calmed down. But, the real situation is definitely not what Han Guang said. My loyalty to Lord Hokage can be learned from heaven and earth. This shameless old man, Lu Han muttered, and he was convinced. Tiandi Kejian could say such words. So, Tsunade looked at Danzo suspiciously. It's me. A whirlwind suddenly swept up in the center of the clearing, and the voice appeared together with the figures of the crowd. It was my idea. Danzo just listened to what I said. The place was suddenly silent. Many people were stunned and looked surprised. The people who suddenly appeared were Sarutobi Lake Biwa, Kaharu Udatane, Homura Mitokado, and a group of guards, and the one who spoke was Hokage's wife, Sarutobi Lake Biwa. No way. Lu Han stared at Sarutobi Lake Biwa, and he thought of something. No way. No way. Is this the menopausal aunt? She suspected me as a spy, so she started it. This Konoha high-level civil unrest war. Is she crazy? Quote. The most stunned person present was Lu Han. He couldn't imagine that Sarutobi Lake Biwa was so crazy. The appearance of Sarutobi Lake Biwa has completely wiped out Danzo's suspicion of competing for the position of Hokage. Because it is impossible for Sarutobi Lake Biwa to betray Sarutobi Hiruzen. The people present were speechless in shock. He's a traitor. Sarutobi Bawako suddenly raised his hand and pointed at Lu Han. That's why I did this. Chapter 0450-Gamble. About Sarutobi Lake Biwa, but he believes that at least she must be a wise woman to be worthy of Sarutobi Hiruzen's great talent. Now Lu Han understands that he is wrong. Sarutobi Lake Biwa clearly has a hole in his head. It really makes people wonder, how did such a low IQ impulsive idiot woman live to Konoha 48 years before being killed by Uchiha Obito? A flame rose in Lu Han's heart. It was a flame of anger. Many people died today. Anbu, Root, Uchiha, Hyuga, all are dead, just because of this idiot woman. If it is a battle between the enemy and us on the battlefield, no matter how many people die, as long as you win, it is worth celebrating. Kindness does not control the army. Since you choose to use killing to solve the problem, you must suffer the consequences, but if it is because of a serious lack of IQ balance the woman killed many people, just because of her random guessing, and made a lot of people die, this will make people angry, trembling anger. I really don't know if Sarutobi Hiruzen will be pissed off when he comes back. ... Traitor. Traitor. Hangguang is a traitor. He's a traitor. After Sarutobi Bawako finished speaking, everyone's eyes turned to Lu Han, who was covered in blood. However, there were very few suspicious eyes. Even if Sarutobi Bawako was Hokage's wife, her words were very authoritative, but what she identified was cold light. Its Vice Captain Anbu is one of Sarutobi Hiruzen's most trusted people. Han Guang is a traitor. First of all, Anbu Ninja will definitely not believe it. No matter what Sarutobi Lake Biwa said, they will not believe it. Because they all know how Hongguang was born and died for Konoha, how many times he was in a desperate situation, and how many times he fought alone to protect his subordinates. What Lu Han did is not a secret in Anbu. Hyuga Ninja won't believe either, because their will Hyuga Huyang doesn't believe it. Otherwise, how could it be possible to pull the entire Hyuga clan to work hard? Naturally, the Tsunade and the others wouldn't believe it either. As for the others, because they don't understand Hongguang, most of them are neutral in their thinking. After all, it is difficult for Hokage's wife to identify Hokage's cronies as traitors, so it's still hard to accept the evidence. By Lord Bawako, Tsunade stuttered in shock. The situation was changing so fast that people were caught off guard. The contradiction was already on Danzo, but Danzo's problem was instantly cleared up. I will prove it to you. Lake Biwa glanced sideways at Tsunade. I understand that he is your apprentice, you can't bear it, but the scourge cannot be left behind. Quiet again. I was thinking about who Tsunade's apprentice was, so I thought about it all at once. He. Master Tsunade's apprentice. Cold light. Lord Tsunade just called him Han. Uproar. Stunned. Because in their memory, Tsunade's apprentice, Han, should be less than 14 years old this year. Lu Han is already numb, he doesn't understand, how idiot is Sarutobi Lake Biwa. What an idiot. What kind of brain does this have to take the initiative to reveal the true identity of Vice Captain Anbu? It doesn't matter, because he is a traitor. Sarutobi Bawako said again, as if to explain what he just did. Looking at Lu Han again, Sarutobi Bawako raised his voice. What? I said you were a traitor, but you didn't refute it. Did you admit it? I really want to treat your brain. Lu Han sighed, at the same time he lowered his head and reached out his hands to remove the mask on his face. There was no need to wear it anymore, and then raised his head again. His young face was made public. Lu Han's eyes flickered as he looked at Pippa Lake Cold. I can't stand it anymore. Lu Han really wanted to go up and hack Sarutobi Lake Biwa to comfort the Konoha ninja who were killed and injured in this civil strife in the spirit of heaven. But he knew that he had to hold back. Now go and split the Sarutobi Lake Biwa. I will take the statement that Sarutobi Lake Biwa is true, Hongguang is a traitor. Don't you want to explain? Sarutobi Bawako spoke again, sarcastically, just gave up the opportunity to explain. You made a mistake. Lu Han immediately said, looking at Sarutobi Lake Biwa with the eyes of a foolish woman who was hopeless. You said I was a traitor, but you didn't show any evidence. What did you ask me to explain? Empty white fang, you call me a traitor and I am. Is it okay if I say you commit adultery with Danzo? What did you say? Sarutobi Bawako's eyes widened and he yelled in disbelief, you bastard. Damn traitor. The surroundings were once again stunned. Hongguang really dares to say anything. I'm just giving an example. You don't want to look angry after being exposed. It's completely unnecessary. This is not the focus of today. Lu Hanzuipao's skill was obviously doubled. I advise you to stick to it. Hurry up and commit suicide. You have killed too many people. All of them are Konoha elites. Ignore the question of whether I am a traitor or not. Even if you really think you have found something, you should wait for Lord Hokage to come back. There is a loss today, so please. I can lend you the knife if necessary. As the truth revealed so soon. Bawako mocked, you want to force me to death without proof. Do you think I'm stupid? You think you're smart. Lu Han frowned. I admit, what happened today was really extreme, and I will take responsibility for the fault later. Sarutobi Bawako continued, but now, I want to make your problem clear. It's you who really deserves to be damned. Then what the hell are you saying you have evidence? Lu Han couldn't hold it any longer. He screamed angrily, the blue veins on his forehead bulging, stop the fucking nonsense. I'll be standing here today waiting for you to get the evidence. If you can prove that I am a traitor, I will kill myself immediately. If you can't prove it, you will kill yourself and show it to me. It's settled. Sarutobi Lake Biwa responded immediately without hesitation. Danzo frowned and looked at Lake Sarutobi Biwa. He knew that although Lake Sarutobi Biwa discovered many unreasonable things about Han Guang, it was enough to infer that Han Guang colluded with the outside world, but there was no substantial evidence. Under such circumstances, it would be unwise for Sarutobi Lake Biwa to risk his life to testify against the cold light. Humph! Sarutobi Bawako suddenly sneered. I will make you understand to death. In front of everyone present, answer me a question, you. Why do you practice the magic of the evil gods? Chapter 0451-accumulate a lot and become a monster in the world. The Heretic God is a very mysterious religious organization. In the ninja world, there are many religious organizations. They are small forces for a long time and do not cause disputes. The Heretic God is very special. In addition to being mysterious, they can always train powerful ninjas. Every time there is chaos in the ninja world, can see their shadows. This is an ambitious and powerful mysterious religious organization. Cold Light Society heresy. How could it be that he is? The face of Sarutobi Lake Biwa's questioning. Luhan did not say anything, and many voices of doubts came one after another. The voices came from all directions, but the main ones were the Uchiha ninjas. Apparently, they got someone's behest. From the current point of view, Uchiha and Danzo are standing on a united front, and Sarutobi Lake Biwa is Danzo's most solid backing, so for Uchiha Ninja, it is the duty to bring down the cold light. However, these doubts are sincere. The ninjas present, except for the Uchiha clan, also had many doubts, but they did not speak. What evidence do you have to prove that I know the magic of the Heretic God? Luhan thought about his mouth and looked directly at Lake Sarutobi Biwa. Are you trying to deny it? Sarutobi Bawako said directly, and her heart was overjoyed. She was eager for Hangguang to deny it. Although among the people present, only Sarutobi Bawako knew the art of the Hangguang Master Evil God sect. But as long as Hangguang dares to deny it, it means he has a guilty conscience. In this case, with Konoha's ability, it is not difficult to find people in the black market to prove that Han Guang has indeed performed the magic of the Heretic God. Yes, I do know the magic of the evil gods. Luhan's answer made Sarutobi Bawako frown. Dare to admit, how to explain? What? Really? Was an uproar around, the magic of the evil god. Even in the black market, it is difficult to buy its cultivation method, because the evil god ninja are a group of loyal believers, and will not sell any magic related to the evil god. Where did Cold Light learn? Many people looked at Luhan differently, even Tsunade frowned. She didn't doubt Luhan, but worried that Luhan couldn't explain clearly. Explain, Sarutobi Lake Biwa said coldly. Mundogen, the former chief commander of the Kurigakure scout force. He joined Kurigakure as a lone ninja during the First Ninja World War. He is extremely powerful and possesses unforgettable abilities. His origin plus has always been a cloud of fog. People know that until I killed him, I didn't know that he was from the evil gods. That time in the country of Vortex, I killed him with a trick, and got the unique ninjutsu from the evil gods from him. The magician's practice method. That's how it came. There's a problem. I think with my talent, it's not a problem to cultivate an A-level psychic in a short period of time, right? Luhan spoke very quickly and clearly, and there was no flaw, because death has no proof. Mundogen is dead. Is there no evidence of death? Sarutobi Bawako sneered. Well, since you say so, I will believe you for the time being. Luhan raised his brows. Sarutobi Bawako said so. It seems to be deceitful. I'll ask you one more question. Sarutobi Bawako suddenly raised his voice a lot, and asked with a sneer, you. How is Master Sunagakure Village Futon Wind Style Forbidden Technique? Futon Wind Style Flower Rain Cutting Technique. Explanation. Don't tell me that you happened to kill a senior ninja in the village of Kurigakure, and you got the practice method of the flower rain cutting technique from him. As far as I know, this technique is passed down by word of mouth in Sunagakure village. Inheritance, even if it is recorded in writing, it will not be carried by ninjas who go out on missions. Secondly, you have been practicing the Hiraishin technique with all your strength for the past 6 months. There wasn't enough time to fix it either. Explain it. After Sarutobi Bawako finished speaking, her eyes were smug. Her goal was not the magic of the demon sect at all, but Wayuki. Let's ask Luhan a question first. Luhan used an explanation that anyone can make up, just in line with Sarutobi Bawako's thoughts. From Sarutobi Bawako's point of view, Hengguang has been bound by himself. Oh, stupid, really stupid. Luhan couldn't help shaking his head. What do you mean? Sarutobi Bawako squinted. I said you were stupid. You are hopelessly stupid. Luhan said bluntly, is it really interesting to dig up my secrets in front of so many people? I really don't know that Hokage knows you do this. What kind of face will it look like? Don't change the subject. Sarutobi Bawako snorted coldly. What's your explanation? You just performed the technique of cutting flowers and rain. Everyone saw it, and you still want to deny it. Of course I won't deny it. Lu Leng smiled, turned his head to look at Danzo suddenly and said, Lord Danzo, I want to ask you a favor. Huh? Danzo frowned for a moment. Help, this obviously does not play cards according to the routine, the hostile relationship, why help you? Just one question, Lord Danzo, what do you think? My talent, Luhan asked. Accumulate, become a villain in the world. Danzo answered Luhan's question very honestly, with a very pertinent evaluation. It's not okay to be honest or not. In the eyes of everyone, Danzo can't say anything else. Hongguang's talent is obvious to all. What about the other people present? Lord Huyang, Mr. Tsunade, who is that? Do you have any refutation? Luhan glanced around again. If anyone thinks that I am not talented, stand up and take 2 steps. No one refuted, no one came out. Can't refute it at all. Hengguang, don't play tricks. Sarutobi Lake Biwa shouted. She suddenly had a very bad feeling. Luhan looked at Sarutobi Lake Biwa. You don't object, right? Humph. Bawako snorted coldly. Don't say these are useless. What I want is your explanation. Actually, I woke up almost a year and a half ago. Before that, I was recognized as a waste. Once I was sober, I had a terrible talent in the ninja, and it is not an exaggeration to say that it was soaring. However, I also have one of the biggest secrets I haven't told anyone. Luhan stared at Lake Sarutobi Biwa. I have the same copying ability as the Uchiha Sharingan. The difference is, I can only copy the ability of a dead person, and it must be the person I killed myself. Chapter 0452 Maybe it's God's will. Silence. Hongguang's words would be a shock to the world, because the ability he said was too terrifying and too bizarre, so bizarre that it was hard to believe. Although there is a precedent, Uchiha's replica eye. But in comparison, the replica eye of the Uchiha clan is not worth mentioning. The replica eye can copy a living person's art, and it must be replicated only when the other party casts the art at the same time, and the Sharingan of the Uchiha family can't copy the S-level forbidden technique. A pair of eyes stared at Luhan, some in shock, some in suspicion, and some in thought and hard to believe. You must know that everyone has secrets, and what I just said is the biggest secret in me. It's not so shameful, but keeping this secret will make me safer and make me beat my opponent by surprise. Quote. Luhan stared at Lake Sarutobi Biwa. It's you. You forced me to tell this secret today. Seriously, if it's possible, I really want to cut off your head with my own hands, dig out your head, and take a look at your brain sulcus different from ordinary people. Otherwise, how could you be so stupid? At the end of the day, Luhan had already bit Kiba's teeth, and his anger. Naturally, he was pretending. In fact, he had long planned to fabricate similar lies to let everyone know that he has this ability. Because he now has more and more advanced master skills, some of which are considered taboo by other ninja villages. Master Luhan has no reason not to use these skills, but once they are used, problems will arise. Just like today's Sarutobi Lake Biwa, there will be people who will question why there are so many forbidden techniques in other ninja villages in the future. This is unreasonable and inexplicable. And once everyone knows that cold light can replicate the ability of dead people, all problems will be solved, and in the long run. One day, the abilities of Shikatsumyaku, Dead Bone Pulse, and Sharingan of Lu Han's master will be exposed. It can also be explained by the ability to copy dead people. Maybe it's God's will. Today, Sarutobi Bawako forced him to say this, but Lu Han saved the problem of finding an opportunity to tell lies in the future. Taking the initiative to speak out and being forced to speak out feel completely different. You should commit suicide to apologize. Lu Han said again, meeting Yuan Fei's Pippa Lake's gaze. Ha, ha ha ha, ha 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 ha. Sarutobi Lake Biwa laughed, first with a lunatic low laugh, then with a big laugh. What are you laughing at? I'm laughing at your naivety. Ha ha ha, how can you tell such a low-level lie? The ability to copy dead people. It has to be someone you killed with your own hands. It's dead without proof. Ha, if I ask you to show what you copied, are you trying to evade the fact that your copying ability is limited and you haven't copied many techniques? Quote. You're half right. Lu Han grinned, it's true that the ability to copy is limited. I copy the ability from dead people, which is not under my control. I may copy some low-level techniques, or high-level techniques, maybe 3, it may be 1, or even, it may not be copied. Quote. Humph. You really said that. Do you know how many people I've killed? What? How many people have I killed, do you know? Sarutobi Bawako's face changed. She really didn't know how many people Han Guang had killed, but hearing what Han Guang meant, he had killed a lot of people, and the deep meaning was that he copied a lot of techniques. Then show it. Sarutobi Bawako took a deep breath. Let's see how many spells you copied. Copy. Ha. A stupid person like you is really rare in the world. Lu Han sneered at Sarutobi Lake Biwa. You just want me to reveal my strength to the public. If you weren't Hokage's wife, I would really doubt you as a traitor. That's what I said, but since we risked our lives, I'll show it. After saying that, Lu Han raised his hand to the surroundings. Signal them to stay away. All the ninjas around the clearing began to retreat, including Hyuga Huyang and Uchiha Yokoyama on the other side of the clearing, and Sarutobi Bawako and others in the middle of the clearing disappeared directly, and reappeared at the edge of the clearing far away. Lu Han, covered in blood, walked towards the middle of the clearing with a knife. Wait a minute, Tsunade's voice came suddenly. Huh. Lu Han looked towards Tsunade. Your injury. Tsunade looked at Lu Han worriedly. Lu Han was stabbed in the heart just now. Although he didn't look like he would die, if the ninjutsu show caused his injury to worsen. I'm fine. Lu Han gave Tsunade a reassuring smile. The noise quickly faded away. Lu Han stood in the middle of the open space with the knife already put away. Since he was showing ninjutsu, he naturally didn't need the knife. Everyone has retreated to a position at least 300 meters away from Lu Han, some standing on the edge of the open space, some standing on the tree. Let's start. Sarutobi Lake Biwa's voice came from a distance. Kaden Fire Style, Phoenix Sage Fire Technique. Lu Han quickly unwrapped the print. He suspiciously suppressed chakra's output, and opened his mouth to spit out a chain of fireballs of normal size. ... This technique comes from the Uchiha clan. Sweden, Water Style, Kurigakur Art. This technique comes from the Kurigakur ninja. Kaden, Fire Style. Futon, Wind Style. Sweden, Water Style. Boom boom boom, boom. Lu Han started an extremely rapid continuous ninjutsu display, because he was just showing, and did not need to maintain the existence of ninjutsu, so he would release a ninjutsu almost every second, and it took less than a minute to release some hand seals. In the first few minutes, Lu Han released hundreds of ninjutsu. It's all low-level ninjutsu. Many people present were shocked when they saw it. Although they were all low-level techniques, there were hundreds of them. For a ninja who was less than 14 years old, it was really scary. Sarutobi Bawako has been sneering all the time. It's just a low-level technique. It is too easy for ninjas who are talented evildoers to learn. Moreover, the practice of low-level techniques is widely circulated in the ninja world. It is impossible to prove that these techniques are from copying. Although Han Guang will definitely use advanced techniques, does he have enough chakra? Sarutobi Bawako's mentality has changed unknowingly, and she didn't even realize it. At first, she just wanted to prove that Han Guang was a traitor. But now, this kind of thinking has weakened, and she is more direct. I hope that Han Guang can't prove herself. I hope that Han Guang will die. Chapter 0453 _ Are you ready to kill yourself? About futon wind style flower rain cutting technique, Sarutobi Bawako knows something about it. In fact, it is not just her. Among the ninjas present, such as Hyuga Huyang and Danzo, needless to say, they must all know this technique. In fact, as long as you have enough knowledge, you all know something about the art of cutting flowers and rain. This technique, indiscriminate and large-scale group attack ninjutsu, is terrifyingly powerful, but has two disadvantages. One is that the hand seal is more complicated, and the other is that the demand for chakra is too great. The latter is the reason why this technique is listed as forbidden technique. Just now, Han Guang has used the technique of cutting flowers and rain. Coupled with the chakra consumed by the previous fight with Danzo, and the chakra consumed by performing hundreds of low-level ninjutsu, Sarutobi Bawako does not feel that there are still many chakras in the cold light, unless he has Senju blood or Uzumaki blood, but he does not. No. Up to now, I haven't even used AB rank ninjutsu. Sarutobi Bawako looked at the figure in the open space, and sneered in his heart, if you want to prove that you have the ability to copy dead people, you must come up with some special and powerful techniques, otherwise. He doesn't have much chakra left. A cold voice suddenly sounded from the side. It was Danzo. When everyone was retreating earlier, Danzo came to Sarutobi Lake Biwa. Sarutobi Bawako glanced at Danzo, then turned to look at Luhan, lowered his voice and said coldly, "You better give me an explanation." "This is not the time," Danzo responded nonchalantly. The explanation that Sarutobi Lake Biwa said. Naturally it is the Uchiha clan. Doden earth style, sand covered with rock cage. Luhan quickly completed the understanding seal again. Boom. A round wall of rock emerged from the ground ahead, and quicksand rose from it. This technique comes from the Konoha Anbu Special Mobile Unit Jonin, which is commonly known as the root. Luhan finally performed a technique that can be called advanced ninjutsu. And the name comes from the root, so many people change color and look at Danzo. The source of low-level ninjutsu cannot be proved. As long as the money is enough, it is not difficult to buy thousands of kinds at a time in the black market, but the high-level ninjutsu is different. The rock cage is covered with sand, which is what Luhan obtained from killing the root killer Chaoshin Juhei. Except for Anbu and the roots contained in Anbu, there are very few ninjas who know this technique elsewhere. Danzo was already frowning, a look of surprise in his eyes. Before, he never thought that Han Guang really had the ability to copy the dead man's ninjutsu, which was more unacceptable than his extremely talented evildoer being able to quickly learn it, but now, doubts arose in his heart. However, the sand cover of the Gabians alone does not prove anything. The Anbu treasure house has the practice method of this technique, and Han Guang, as the deputy captain of Anbu, has enough authority to learn this level of technique at will. Next, Luhan performed 10B level techniques in a row, but it didn't make much waves, because those techniques are not unique to a certain organization, they are very common. Luhan suddenly stopped, standing in the middle of the devastated open space, panting violently. His face was already pale and a little scary, and he didn't know whether it was because of the worsening of the injury or because chakra had bottomed out, or both. Is this the end? Sarutobi Bawako sneered and said at the right time, don't use the lack of chakra as an excuse. You have performed hundreds of low-level ninjutsu that have no proven effect at all. Make excuses. I advise you to take out the knife first. Luhan responded in a cold voice. It's your turn to commit suicide soon. The following technique deserves a special introduction. Lu Han said loudly again. This technique comes from the Ghost Lamp Clan ninja, and I acquired it during my mission in the Land of Water. Laugh. With a flick of his hand, Lu Han shot out a water bullet from between his fingers. The water bullet was extremely fast, flew over 200 meters in an instant, and punched a hole in the body of a big tree at the edge of the clearing. The art of water and iron cannons. The secret art of the Ghost Lamp family. Lu Han said again. The surroundings were completely silent, and many senior ninjas were surprised. Secret art, secret art. The reason why it is called a secret technique naturally means a secret that is not passed on. But not all secret techniques are secrets that are not passed down, because some secret techniques are created by lone ninjas, and some secret techniques are created by small tribes. There will always be various reasons that make secret techniques no longer mysterious and spread out. But this statement does not apply to the Ghost Lamp Clan. The Ghost Lamp Clan is extremely strong. It's been like this since time immemorial. It is because they are strong and they have sufficient control ability, so the secret techniques of the Ghost Lamp family are rarely spread, and the technique of water and iron cannons has never been heard of rumors. The ninjas who can use the water and iron cannon are all from the Ghost Lamp family. The secret techniques of such large tribes as the Ghost Lantern Clan will not be passed on, this is common sense. But just now, Han Guang has broken this common sense. The suspicion in Danzo's eyes grew stronger. He stared at Lu Han's face, trying to find something from Lu Han's expression, but he couldn't. Proof like this may not be enough. Lu Han spoke again and raised his hands. Then I will. Cadent Fire Style, Majestic Destroyer Flame, Great Fire Annihilation. Sweetened Water Style, Great Waterfall Technique. Quote. Futon Wind Style, Wind Roll Puppet Formation. Magic Break Psychic. Futon Wind Style, Sleepy Roll Ascension. Secret Art, Blood Mist Art. A huge fireball that was many times bigger than the grand fireball hit the ground, and then the great waterfall technique came. The collision of fire and water stirred up a vast white fog, and 9 small tornadoes like puppets appeared afterward, and the thick fog was blown back and forth. After erasing it, the broken swords fell from the sky one by one, followed by the wind. The huge wind Uzumaki slammed forward on the ground, first drilled into the ground, and then slammed into the sky. In the end, the blood mist surged and burst into a sea of fire. 4 A-level techniques and 2 S-level techniques were released in sequence. Each of them has a significant monograph quality. Of course it is not absolute, such as the Great Waterfall Technique, although it is Kurigakure's signature ninjutsu, it has been widely circulated, but some are really exclusive. Like Majestic Destroyer Flame, Great Fire Annihilation. Never been rumored. The crowd was silent. A lot of people were stunned. The shock is not only because Han Guang can perform these techniques, but also because. How many chakras does Han Guang have? Lord Pippa Lake, are you ready to commit suicide? Lu Han's voice suddenly resounded throughout the audience. Chapter 0454 and Slime. Facing Lu Han's questioning, Sarutobi Bawako's eyes filled with confusion. Committing suicide. She never thought about suicide because she didn't think she would lose. And now, Han Guang seems to have brought her into the abyss step by step. If it is said that Han Guang is identified as a cultist by the technique of psychic and magic breaking, his masterfuton wind style, and the technique of cutting flowers and rain can also be forcibly interpreted as a mysterious ritual from the cult, but now, Han Guang has been used successively. Advanced Cadent Fire Style, from Uchiha, A-level Forbidden Technique and S-level Forbidden Technique from Sunagakure Village, as well as the signature ninjutsu from the blood mist of the former captain of Kurigakure Anbu. If Han Guang could only use 1 or 2 of these techniques, he would be able to forcefully explain it, but now, the range of techniques that Han Guang has performed is too wide, so it seems that instead of forcibly explaining it, it is better to copy the dead man's ninjutsu. More convincing. The fire was surging in the open space. Although Lu Han's voice came out one step ahead, the flames generated by the explosion of the blood mist had not yet dissipated. Danzo suddenly dodged and disappeared beside Sarutobi Lake Biwa, and appeared directly beside Uchiha Yokoyama on the other side of the clearing, whispering to Uchiha Yokoyama as if asking something. The flames surged for a while, and then dissipated because of the lack of chakra supply. Luhan showed his figure, still with blood dripping all over his body, panting violently, his shoulders kept rising and falling, and his face was very scary. The technique of blood mist is a taboo technique that can only be used to fight for life. It uses one's own blood as a medium to launch ninjutsu, injuring 1,000 enemies and 800. Han Guang had already been seriously injured before, and looking at it now, it looks like his life is not too long. Looking at Han Guang's appearance, everyone felt unspeakable waves in their hearts. There is no doubt that Han Guang's power is far beyond the previous imagination of everyone present. He is so powerful, but when faced with the doubts of Sarutobi Bawako, but did not show too much resistance. Instead, he showed everything he said as much as possible to prove himself, even if doing so would be life-threatening, such a ninja. To call him a traitor. It's really hard to believe. Tsunade looked at Luhan from afar, his eyes were very worried. But in this worry, there was also a trace of doubt. She is from the Senju clan, and is the most talented medical ninja since the establishment of Konoha. She has a very strong perception of life force. In the eyes of others, Han Guang is already hanging by a thread. It's a miracle that he doesn't die in this way. But Tsunade could feel that Luhan, who had used the blood mist technique, didn't lose much of his vitality compared to when he was seriously injured before. Although the vitality is weak, it will not die. This is unreasonable. But Tsunade couldn't explain it. Do you believe it now? Luhan finally spoke after gasping for a while, staring at Sarutobi Lake Biwa and grinning, his mouth full of white fang already stained with the color of yuhi. Most of my ninjutsu comes from the ones I killed. Ninjas, after I killed them, I copied their ninjutsu. I think I have proved what I said. While Luhan spoke, Danzo, who had a brief whispered conversation with Uchiha Yokoyama, dodged back to Sarutobi Lake Biwa. Lord Biwa Lake, all your suspicions and slander against me are not supported by strong evidence. Luhan raised his voice, then, since you can't prove that I am a traitor, many people died today because of you. I ask you again, are you ready to kill yourself? Sarutobi Lake Biwa and Luhan looked at each other, their faces uncertain. I asked Yokoyama just now, there is absolutely no possibility of the majestic destroyer flame, great fire annihilation technique being rumored, but the cold light did kill the Uchiha ninja of the master majestic destroyer flame, great fire annihilation technique. Danzo tilted his head and whispered to Lake Biwa. Said, so, it can be basically confirmed that he does have the ability to copy the dead man's ninjutsu. Sarutobi Bawako's face sank. Danzo's saying this now is literally pushing her into the fire pit. But Sarutobi Bawako knew that at this time, Danzo would not push himself into the fire pit. Lord Danzo. Seeing Danzo and Sarutobi whispering in Lake Biwa, Luhan tilted his head and looked, you seem to have questions. Cold light. You are so clever, you deliberately make yourself miserable, but the fact that you are a traitor cannot be denied. Danzo snorted and said loudly, okay. You said you copied the dead man's tolerance, the ability of art, right? Then, this matter, why didn't you report it to Lord Hokage? Everyone has a secret. Joke. You are a trusted confidant of Lord Hokage. Master Konoha has a lot of secrets. Lord Hokage has never hidden anything from you, and even gave you the cultivation method of Hiraishin, which is a gift for you, but you are hiding something from Lord Hokage. Are you worthy of Lord Hokage's trust in you? And now, you are going to kill Lord Hokage's wife, dare you say it? You have no heart for Konoha. You dare say it. You are not a traitor. Danzo's righteousness was awe-inspiring, but Luhan raised his brows. This Danzo is good at mouth gun skills. But his statement is completely untenable. Everyone has a secret, there is nothing wrong with this statement. And Danzo didn't expect to rely on his words to convince him that Luhan was a traitor, he was just and mud. Call. A dark shadow suddenly appeared beside Lu Han. It was an Anbu ninja. After whispering to Lu Han for a while, he glanced at Sarutobi Lake Biwa and Danzo with cold eyes, so he walked away. Anbu ninja rushing into the open space is actually a very dangerous act. Any bad thing will trigger a chain reaction, but he still does it. Sarutobi Bawako and Danzo slander Vice Captain Hangwang so much, he can't bear it anymore, so he thinks some words are worth being right. Lu Han said something. After hearing this, Lu Han's expression remained unchanged, and he looked at Lake Sarutobi Biwa again. Lord Bawako, may I ask you a question? Speak. Are you the master planner of this operation, or the mastermind behind it? Oh, yes. Sarutobi Lake Biwa was no longer afraid of Lu Han snapping his hat, and generously admitted. If that's the case, then I'll ask you. Lu Han paused, then suddenly raised his finger to the Uchiha clan in the distance. Why didn't you know about their participation in this operation? Chapter 0455 Don't Get Cold. Sarutobi Bawako's face changed dramatically, and her heart was shaken. She could no longer hide her emotions. What Han Guang asked seemed to be irrelevant, but in fact there was a huge problem. Sarutobi Bawako didn't know that the Uchiha tribe would be involved in this operation, but she didn't say that she took everything down and took care of it by herself. It was agreed before, and she took all the responsibilities, so she did it. But she didn't thinking left a deadly hidden danger. She lied. When a person's lie is proven, anything she says will be questioned. Danzo, who had been cleared of suspicion, once again became the object of suspicion. You're silent, you're acquiescing, right? Ha! If we Anbu didn't have ninjas who understand lip language, it's really hard to find the problem. You think I'm a traitor. You want to kill me. So you found Danzo, but you didn't. I don't know what Danzo did. It's hard to imagine why you trust Danzo so much. Do you, Danzo? Lu Han looked at Danzo again. Lord Danzo, I have to repeat the same old tune. Are you really just helping that stupid woman? How dare you hide such a big thing from the Uchiha clan? Or, you have reached an agreement with the Uchiha clan. What kind of secret agreement? This is very possible, isn't it? You have a very bad relationship with the Uchiha clan, which is well known, but this time they are listening to you. It is really hard to imagine what benefits you promise the Uchiha clan in private. We'll let the Uchiha people give up the previous estrangement and die for you, Silence. Many people are stunned, because the situation turned around too fast. A moment ago, he was talking about whether Hangwang was a traitor or not, but now, the target is Danzo once again. If it is not the Uchiha clan mobilized by Sarutobi Lake Biwa, but Danzo himself. That would be really interesting. Danzo has become the focus, and eyes are falling on him, and many people do not hide the doubts in their eyes. Danzo's face was ashen, even though he was thoughtful, it was difficult to explain at this time. Sarutobi Lake Biwa lied, it's a dead end. Tisk tisk, that's really interesting. Lu Han said again, Lord Danzo, you are very ambitious. As we all know, the stupid woman who is Lord Hokage's wife trusts you very much, even if she knows that you are concealing her agreement with the Uchiha clan. In this case, I will also cover it up for you and take all the responsibilities alone, tisk tisk tisk. This friendship is truly a lesson from heaven and earth. Han Guang always speaks astonishingly, but this time, many people's expressions change drastically. Focus becomes not only Danzo, but also Sarutobi Lake Biwa. Many people glanced back and forth on the two of them, as if trying to see something. Even Tsunade looked at Sarutobi Bawako in many different ways. Sarutobi Bawako was Tsunade's teacher. When Tsunade practiced with Sarutobi Hiruzen, he would always be taking care of Sarutobi Lake Biwa. The mutual trust between the two was built on the days and nights of getting along for more than 10 years, and at this moment, this trust was shaken in Tsunade's heart. Everyone present remembered what Han Guang said before. Sarutobi Lake Biwa committed adultery with Danzo. The words were vulgar and vulgar. At the time, Lu Han said these words for disgusting people, but now, these words seem to have a miraculous effect. It's hard not to think in that direction. Even Kaharu Udatane and Homura Mitokado, who had never spoken, frowned deeply. Obviously, their hearts were not at peace. Facing the questioning eyes, Sarutobi Bawako's breathing became faster and faster. Her face turned Yuhi at first, and then turned black. She was so embarrassed and angry that she wanted to go crazy. Slander. Pure slander. Or the slander that women can't bear at all. Sarutobi Bawako looked at Lu Han with a look that could eat people, but she couldn't say a word to refute. Say what? She had no way to refute what Han Guang said just now. Because it's all true. She really doesn't know that Danzo has mobilized Uchiha, let alone whether Danzo and Uchiha have reached an agreement in private, and she really trusts Danzo very much. As for the adultery, that is what Han Guang said earlier, but Han Guang just didn't say it. Sarutobi Bawako can't directly say that the cold light is slandering, saying that he did not commit adultery with Danzo. It sounds like it is full of self-inflicted feelings. Why should I provoke him? Leave everything to Hiruzen. Why should I provoke him? Sarutobi Lake Biwa has never regretted so much. Really should wait for Sarutobi Hiruzen to come back, then. Sarutobi Bawako believes that no matter what rumors there are, her husband will completely trust her, and a situation like this should never happen at this moment. Sarutobi Lake Biwa is very strong and observant. During the First Ninja World War, she fought bloodlessly on the battlefield and was not afraid of life and death. She is a good enough and powerful ninja. Many times she is not afraid of death, but now, she is afraid. Her reputation as a woman, as a wife, seems to have taken a devastating blow. This is something scarier than death. Sarutobi Bawako really wanted to speak angrily at Hengguang and slander. But she wanted to speak, but she couldn't. There was no strong argument to support her. Her thinking was in chaos, and she didn't know what to say. She saw the terrifying cold light, not only the terrifying strength of being a ninja. Sarutobi Lake Biwa did not speak. The more she did not speak, the more questioning eyes, the more intense the color of doubt. The pressure rushed to Sarutobi Biwa Lake like a storm. Her body was already shaking, the trembling became more and more violent, and it was shaky. You didn't refute me, tisk tisk. Lu Han once again broke the silence. It seems that it's all acquiesced, right? Lord Bawako, Lord Danzo, I think it's better for you to commit suicide now, although it looks more like this. Martyrdom, but in the end, today's events can be brought to an end. Everything started because of you, and it should be ended by you. How about it? You shouldn't object to such a reasonable request, right? Silence again. But this time the silence did not last long, and Danzo, who had been silent for a long time, finally spoke. Hengguang, dare to fight with me alone. Let's compete, divide life and death. Chapter 0456 _ How deep is the city of cold light? As soon as Danzo finished speaking, many people looked at him in disbelief. Lord Danzo, your shameless shame is really amazing. Lu Han, who was covered in blood, grinned and didn't hide his sarcasm. You really don't plan to refute me. There's nothing you can do, so you want to kill Silence. Humph. You damned traitor. Everyone gets it and kills him. Danzo looked righteous and dignified, soiled the reputation of Lord Bawako, brought shame to Lord Hokage, and slandered me again and again. Cold light. You acted like this. It seems that your tongue has the upper hand, but have you ever thought that Lord Hokage can forgive you? Oh, you must have thought that Lord Hokage will not forgive you. You are ready to betray Konoha, and you are escaping before fleeing. You still thought of giving Konoha a blow. How dare you say that you are not a traitor? It is my duty to eradicate the traitor. Quote. What? This. It turns out. I don't know if what Danzo said was too contagious. All eyes turned to Lu Han, as if they really believed what Danzo said. Danzo is smart. He didn't refute Lu Han just now. It doesn't mean he doesn't refute now. It's just that the situation is urgent and the situation is bad. He has to think about what to say. The starting point of his remarks has completely bypassed the so-called traitor evidence and Han Guang's evidence. Slander, start from the root. Han Guang does this. How will it end? Sarutobi Hiruzen has absolute trust in Sarutobi Lake Biwa. Would Han Guang be surprised? Clap clap, clap. Lord Danzo is really talented. Lu Han was very calm, and clapped his hands for Danzo with a smile, but I wonder if Mr. Danzo realizes, Han Guang, Deputy Captain Konoha Anbu. For me, an important result, not the process. I can do anything as long as I can win. Quote. So, betraying Konoha is also your plan? Danzo sneered. No, Mr. Danzo didn't understand what I meant. I wanted to say, I can do anything, including, take back what I said. Lu Han smiled even more, and immediately turned his eyes to Sarutobi Lake Biwa and said quickly, as far as I know, Biwa-sama has been carrying out secret missions for Hokage-sama in recent years, and don't go back to Konoha. Even I, the vice captain of Anbu, didn't know Biwa-sama's whereabouts before. The adultery is self-defeating. It's just my angry words from my previous anger. In my opinion, although Lord Bawako is extremely stupid, he is not going to have sex with a shameless person like Lord Danzo. In fact, what I just said, there is an obvious flaw, that is, if Lord Bawako really has it is impossible for her to be estranged from Lord Hokage. It is impossible for her to not know that the Uchiha clan will participate in today's action. There is no need for Lord Danzo to hide it from her. But Lord Danzo concealed it, obviously because of his own calculations, and Lord Biwa, most of them are blinded. This. Captain. What is it? Another uproar. Hangguang actually washed Lake Biwa white. Washed very thoroughly. Sarutobi Lake Biwa looked at Lu Han in disbelief. At this moment, she felt as if she had flown from hell to heaven. Humph. It's so funny. When I hit the weak spot, you slapped yourself in the face. Danzo sneered louder than the uproar, and everyone could hear what he was saying. If you pass it, cold light, you can't be so shameless. This proves your guilty conscience even more. No, I think Lord Danzo has misunderstood again. Lu Han raised his fingers and shook his face. There was no panic on his face, as if everything was in the master. It's not that I slapped myself in the face. I have a doubt, I take back what I said, it is a kind of temptation. And the silence of Lord Bawako just now has answered my question. Danzo's face changed, and the bad feeling reappeared. With his mind, he immediately thought of what Han Guang's so-called question was. Impossible. Han Guang can't have such a deep mind. It's impossible. He's not even 14 years old. Danzo growled inwardly. Yes, Danzo-sama, you were right. Lu Han saw Danzo's face, and his smile became wider. The answer that Biwa-sama gave me in silence just now is. She must have promised you that she will bear all the responsibility for today's affairs. Right. She suspected me and wanted me to die. But she didn't have enough strength to do so, so she found you. And Lord Danzo always takes risks in doing things. Without Lord Hokage's order, if you dare, you wouldn't dare to do anything, move Deputy Captain Anbu. But you did it, you have nothing to fear, and you are not afraid that Hokage-sama will hold you accountable afterwards. It is because, Bawako-sama promised you. I will take all the responsibilities. If not, Lord Bawako can completely confess everything just now. She doesn't know that the Uchiha clan will participate in this operation, just say it. I think both Homura Mitokado and Lord Kaharu Udatane can testify about it. But she just needs to do it. Today the responsibility for this matter falls entirely on Danzo-sama, which refutes her previous promise. Therefore, she did not say that even if she suffers an unjust injustice, she will bear it with all her might. In order to make the previous promise, take all responsibility. Lord Bawako, am I right? Lu Han finally looked at Sarutobi Lake Biwa and asked. Lake Biwa is stunned. With her intelligence, she doesn't have such a deep mind at all. But some things have been integrated into her bones, such as integrity. She is indeed determined to take all the responsibility, so in her subconscious, she will not reveal the real situation and she will not let the responsibility fall on Danzo. Silence again. She still didn't say anything. Such an attitude was equivalent to everything by default. The eyes of many people looking at her changed again. Lake Biwa was not only white, but also white and shiny. Even though some people have thought that her IQ is indeed a problem, they have to admit that she has a very noble character. Even if she has been deceived, she will not change her original intention. She is a person who will do what she says, and she will die without regrets. Danzo's face was extremely ugly. Because the worst situation he was most worried about had already happened. Losing the shelter of Sarutobi Lake Biwa, his actions today are really suspicious. Chapter 0457 _ The ever-changing plot. Looks like I'm right. In fact, I have always believed in Lord Bawako's loyalty to Lord Hokage, and my inferences are based on this. Since Lord Bawako is still with Lord Hokage, but for Lord Danzo protecting against the wind and rain, Lord Danzo can still be so unscrupulous, I think. The promise should be correct. As Luhan said that, he shifted his gaze, looked at the woman standing not far from Sarutobi Lake Biwa and said, Master Kaharu Udatane, I don't know. Am I right? Sarutobi Lake Biwa was silent. Danzo was already at a loss for words, so Luhan asked Kaharu Udatane. Kaharu Udatane is known not to be afraid of offending people. This is not the case with Homura Mitokado. Of course, this is not the main reason why Luhan asked Kaharu Udatane. That is not enough insurance. If Kaharu Udatane denies it, it will be troublesome. Luhan dared to ask, the real reason is, the Yuhi name above Kaharu Udatane's head has turned orange. Well, Lake Biwa has indeed promised us that it will take full responsibility for all the consequences of catching Hangwang. Kaharu Udatane said blankly, the Uchiha tribe will be involved in the action, we really don't know. She really said it. Not only said it directly, but also sold Danzo. Ha, what a surprise. Lord Danzo. Luhan looked at Danzo again, are you arresting me? Are you trying to arrest me today? You secretly mobilized the Uchiha clan to arrest me. What should I do? It feels like you're going to kill me from beginning to end. Tisk tisk, you really should explain it better, don't you? Danzo looked at Kaharu Udatane in disbelief. Kaharu Udatane gave Danzo a cold look and said nothing. She was only suspicious of Danzo's actions before. Why did she secretly mobilize Uchiha, a tribe that had never been trusted by Konoha executives? And when Luhan slandered Sarutobi Lake Biwa for adultery, Danzo clearly had the opportunity to confess everything and take responsibility, but he didn't do that. Which made Kaharu Udatane's heart cold. Well, it seems that Lord Danzo hasn't decided what to say yet, so I'll give you a summary. Luhan said again, first of all, in the previous mission, Lord Sarutobi Bawako found a lot of doubts in me. Fan has no brains to speculate and regard me as a traitor. After returning to Konoha, she has the intention to eradicate the scourge of Konoha, but because Hokage-sama is not here, she found Danzo-sama. Quote. Actually, I personally have had a conflict with Danzo-sama, and I won't go into details, but it can be inferred that when Bawako-sama found him, he first shied the blame, and then Bawako-sama promised to take over all the responsibilities and let go by Danzo-sama. Arranged in secret. Lord Danzo saw that the opportunity could not be missed, so he started to prepare, and then the situation exceeded everyone's imagination. In order to kill me, he mobilized the Konoha Garrison Corps, and mobilized the Root Ace Killer, which is now watching the fun in the sky. Then he transferred out the Konoha with Tsunade, Jiraiya, Orochimaru, whom I care about close to. And the Uchiha clan. Actually, not so much the Uchiha clan, but a private agreement with the Uchiha clan. After all, you had a bad relationship before. Tisk tisk. It's such an honor. It doesn't make sense for Lord Danzo to mobilize so much power for me alone, enough to shake the foundation of Konoha. For this, I have to repeat the same old tune, Lord Danzo. You really are not deceived after seeing Lord Bawako. Do you want to take the opportunity to overthrow Lord Hokage, rule of Konoha? Or, are you prepared to act on the spot? If you can't do anything, just stop, if you can. Ha! Quote. Why are you smart? Why is it tongue-in-cheek? This is exactly what Luhan showed. You fart. Full of nonsense. Danzo scolded angrily in the face of questioning eyes. Are you out of breath? Luhan smiled even more. Even when I slandered you for adultery with Lord Bawako, you were silent, but now you scold me loudly. Lord Danzo, you must understand that it is not the louder the voice is. Dayu is right. As an assistant of Hokage, Lord Hokage is in charge of Konoha in this era, and you should focus on the overall situation, but what have you done? There have been dozens of ninjas who died tragically. Aren't you afraid of them taking their lives? Or, you don't care? Boom. A terrifying aura rose from Danzo's body, causing everyone present to change color. Danzo, what do you want to do? You dare to do it? You really? The anger sounded one after another, and in an instant, hundreds of ninjas from all directions were all ready to fight. Including the Uchiha clan. They are now grasshoppers on a rope with Danzo, and naturally they are on Danzo's side. In an instant, the barrier became tense. Luhan frowned slightly. He knew that Danzo was not a reckless man. Hangguang, I underestimated you. Danzo stared gloomily at Luhan, his terrifying aura rising again and again, but your descent towards Konoha cannot be denied. Humph, you still remember this. After Danzo finished speaking, he raised his hand and tore it. A stab, Danzo's upper body was torn apart, revealing the black curse mark in Yuhi. The untraceable lock's mother's curse seal. Oh, you want to use this spell to control me. You don't think you don't know. You dare to secretly attack Hokage's assistant, and dare to say that you have no objection to Konoha. And I will kill you with dignity. I just want you to die. I don't want to be killed. You control and become a tool for you to harm Konoha. Danzo pointed at the curse mark on his body and spat wildly, and was extremely emotional. Damn it. Damn it. He actually knew. No wonder it was so simply named Yuhi. Luhan really didn't expect that Danzo knew that he was being controlled in reverse. In fact, it is not difficult to understand that using dreams to affect people's minds, and dreaming of the same person over and over again, normal people will feel abnormal. The key is that Danzo did not plan Luhan when he was busy with affairs in the country of Vortex. I didn't think about it, but I would dream at night. This is a flaw. The so-called day and night have dreams. I don't even think about it during the day, but it's still the same at night. Danzo created the no-trace lock technique. It's normal for him to find the problem. The others around were stunned again. Chapter 0458_ The final battle is finally here. Light to control Danzo. Why Danzo used so much power, and even deceived Sarutobi Lake Biwa, in order to have enough confidence to kill Hangguang. Danzo has to do this. Because he is now Hokage's assistant, to act as Hokage's responsibilities, to rule Konoha. If he is really controlled by Hangguang, what consequences may be caused? Is Hangguang waiting for this day? Is this why Danzo cuts through the mess? Danzo didn't say much, but that's what he meant to say. And the senior ninjas present can also think of this layer. At this time, Danzo is in charge of Konoha, but Hangguang wants to control Danzo. After thinking about it, adding some suspicions, it is really scary. Danzo once again skipped all Luhan's words and shifted the focus. This time he succeeded, because what he said was right. Luhan really wanted to control Danzo. This point, Luhan really couldn't refute it. I have to admit, this guy really has a good brain, and his reaction is fast. But this also shows a problem. He has nothing to do. Otherwise, it is impossible to actively expose the untraceable lock technique. After all, he is the one who doesn't make sense in this matter. After today, he will definitely give Sarutobi Hiruzen a reasonable explanation. It has always been easy to distort the facts with Danzo's ability, but it will not end well in the end. The fish is dead and the net is broken. After Danzo said those words, many people showed incredible eyes, and the plot always reversed so suddenly. Danzo's way of reversing the plot is very simple, turning himself into a victim. Lord Danzo, it seems that today between you and me, we must fight to the death. Lu Hansen said with a cold smile. It's you who died. I live. Humph. Have you finally stopped explaining? What do I explain? You created the no-trace lock technique. You and I know what's really going on, but it doesn't matter what I say. Lord Hokage isn't here, you can refute anything I say. Of course, there are one thing I can admit, I really want to control you. Ha ha ha, you admit it. Danzo laughed, quite surprised. How dare Han Guang admit it? Isn't this looking for death? Of course I dare to admit it, because Lord Hokage asked me to do this. Lord Hokage doesn't trust you at all. Lu Han threw a bomb. What? Actually. Could it be? There was another uproar. Some people were already confused, and the development of today's events has exceeded their thinking ability. Danzo just wanted to refute Lu Han. He knew that Sarutobi Hiruzen would not give such an order, but he stopped his mouth as soon as he opened his mouth. He immediately understood what Han Guang was thinking. Indeed, Han Guang lied. This is not Sarutobi Hiruzen command, but who can prove it? Sarutobi Hiruzen is not here. Danzo dared to reveal the traceless lock mother spell because Sarutobi Hiruzen was not here, and Han Guang dared to say that it was Sarutobi Hiruzen's order, and also because Sarutobi Hiruzen was not here. Both of them were shameless. Ha ha ha, good you cold light. Danzo laughed, laughing a little crazy. It seems we can only decide the outcome. I am happy to accompany you. Lu Han's face sank, extremely solemn. He is serious. Han, you're crazy, Tsunade exclaimed, hurt so much, consuming so much chakra, and daring to fight with Danzo is not crazy. Captain. Sir, don't. Cold light. Many have been born to stop, some Anbu ninjas, and Hyuga Huyang. Today's event, in the final analysis, is because of Danzo and I. Many people died, they are innocent. Lu Han raised his hand to signal, and said in a loud voice, there is no need to continue the dispute, and it will cause another mass fighting, neither with me nor with Konoha, is not a good thing. Calm down, we've talked so much back and forth, I'm tired and tired too. I think Lord Danzo should have the same thoughts as me. Today's matter will be concluded by our decisive battle. We will decide between life and death, no matter what the outcome is. Today's matter should be ended, and the rest of the matter will be resolved when Lord Hokage returns. Lu Han turned over his generous speech, and seemed to have a determination to die, but it attracted a silence. Because they can't deny that Han Guang is right. Anbu, Gen, Hyuga, Uchiha, Konoha's young geniuses. If the melee starts again, I really want this group to win by fighting. No matter who wins, it will shake the foundation of Konoha, but this will not stop Danzo the decisive battle with the cold light. Both of them have made up their minds, and they are both powerful and terrifying, and no one can stop them. Hangguang, you really surprised me. Danzo, who was furious, sighed, I don't know if you are too arrogant. You think you will win the battle, or you have Konoha in your heart. That's what you said. Today's event. It will end with the battle between you and me. Follow the orders. If I die in this battle, you should return to the station immediately, and don't leave until Lord Hokage returns. Quote. Yes. There was a sound of promise not far behind Danzo. Anbu obeys. Lu Han also raised his hand and said, if I die in this battle, Bailey will temporarily take charge of Anbu's rule until Captain Whitefang or Lord Hokage returns. Captain. Lord Cold Light. There was no answer to the promise, and there were just anxious calls. Anbu ninjas were not those cold-killing machines. From an emotional point of view, they were normal people, and it was difficult for them to accept Han Guang's death-defying behavior. Lu Han ignored those Anbu ninjas and kept looking at Danzo. He didn't think he was going to die, since he didn't die. It doesn't matter whether Anbu ninja should have this order or not. Lu Han is going to kill Danzo. The super special explosion rate hasn't been used yet. Killing Danzo will give Luhan an unimaginable reward. New hatred and old hatred are counted. Luhan has no reason not to kill Danzo, and Danzo has no reason not to die today. Hangwang, then we'll. Danzo showed a sinister smile. Wait a minute. A sudden voice interrupted Danzo's words, and everyone looked. This person. It was Uchiha Yokoyama. Lord Danzo, how about I fight for you and kill Hangwang? Uchiha Yokoyama looked at Danzo and asked. Are you a fool? Luhan looked at Uchiha Henshin in disbelief. Chapter 0459 explain the future. Difficult for Luhan to understand how much Uchiha Henshin owes his IQ to jump out to block Danzo's gun at this time. Everyone present knew that Danzo was going to kill Hangwang, and if he succeeded, he won. Absolutely. It won't be better. The doubts on Danzo's body are difficult to wash away, and Sarutobi Hiruzen will not fail to figure out the stakes. That is to say, Danzo and Hangwang's absolute. No matter whether he wins or loses, he has to pay the price. Uchiha Yokoyama's brain was pulled by a spring. Jumping out at this time, the so-called brain pumping is nothing but this. Smelly shameless. The Uchiha tribe is really shameless. It's Danzo's dog. Before Uchiha Henshin could refute Luhan's remarks that he was an idiot, he immediately heard a burst of scolding. A few Anbu ninjas are emotional, but most of them are not them, but Hyuga ninjas. Some of the Chunin and Genin of the Hyuga family. They wouldn't be afraid of Uchiha Yokoyama. The Hyuga family and the Uchiha family were already pinned to point, and they fought together before, without any scruples. What did you say? Shameless Hyuga clan. How dare you talk nonsense here? You blind bastards. Situation got out of control immediately. Hyuga ninja and Uchiha ninja entered a state of confrontation. Fortunately, it was some Chunin Genin who couldn't see the situation clearly. If the two senior ninjas were so angry, they had to fight. If the advanced ninja does not do anything, the low-level ninja can only curse. Okay. Shut up. Hyuga Huyang and Uchiha Yokoyama scolded their own clansmen one after another, and the surroundings immediately fell silent. The patriarchs of the two powerful clans felt a little embarrassed at this time, and the useless and meaningless scolding had no effect except to make people look down on them. Hyuga Huyang knows very well that Uchiha Yokoyama is not a fool. He took the initiative to stand up. There must be unspeakable interests in it, and maybe there are some dirty private transactions. Lord Danzo, what do you think? Uchiha Yokoyama asked Danzo again, looking directly at him. Danzo, who was ready for battle, had a gloomy expression on his face. He didn't seem to know why Uchiha Yokoyama did this. Of course, this expression could also be faked. After pondering for a while, Danzo seemed to make a decision. Okay. Yokoyama, it's up to you to fight for me and kill this traitor who has a bad heart for Konoha. Okay, Uchiha Yokoyama responded. Hey, just discuss it like this. Why don't you ask my opinion? Luhan shouted, looking at Uchiha Henshin. You better give me a reason, otherwise I refuse to fight with you. Today's matter it's not because of you. If you don't want to be attacked by the crowd, it's best not to mess around. You killed more than 30 senior ninjas from the guards of the Uchiha clan's patriarch. You have a mortal feud with my Uchiha. I want to avenge my clan with my own hands. Is it wrong? Uchiha Henshin honestly answered Luhan's question. Everyone can feel that he is very eager to kill Hangwang. This reason, considering the risk you're taking, is not sufficient. You master and I are unique to the Uchiha tribe of Kaden fire-style ninjutsu. In order to prevent the rumor of ninjutsu, I have to. It's still not enough. Are you joking? In your heart, you must think that Lord Danzo will kill me. Since you think so, I am dead, but you can't spread it. Uchiha Henshin was silent. He was struck by Luhan's words. Those were not the real reasons at all. At most they were just factors that added fuel to the flames. You and I, the Uchiha ninja, have one thing in common. Both masters have the ability to copy ninjutsu. The difference is that we can only copy the living, and you can copy the dead. I don't want this ability to fall into the hands of others. This is a threat to us Uchiha. Lu Han was stunned for a moment. What Uchiha Henshin said. There seemed to be a little bit of a logical problem, but Lu Han immediately figured it out. You think, as long as you kill me, you can get the ability to copy the dead man's ninjutsu from me. It's possible. This ability is likely to come from one of your organs, just as the replication ability of our Uchiha tribe comes from Sharingan, and even if it doesn't come from one of your organs, it must be related to your cells. Uchiha Henshin was serious and direct, but Lu Han wanted to laugh. I have to admit that the ability to copy ninjutsu is terrifying. As the head of the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Yokoyama's ability to copy eyes is at its peak, which gives him even greater strength, but also makes him understand the horror of copying ability. Uchiha Yokoyama has Mangekyo Sharingan, but even so, he can only copy the A-level ninjutsu that is not the forbidden technique. Whether it is the A-level forbidden technique or the S-level forbidden technique, it cannot be copied. But Hangguang has just proved that he can replicate the S-level forbidden technique. Or copy from the dead. Uchiha Henshin wants to get this ability from Lu Han. Well, let's trust you for the moment. Lu Han thought for a moment and said, of course he wouldn't completely believe what Uchiha Henshin said. What he just said might be an excuse. The ghost knows what kind of agreement he has reached with Danzo in private. Maybe he was acting with Danzo just now. However, Lu Han didn't want to delve into anything, after all. They're all dying. That's it. Lu Han looked at Uchiha Henshin and raised his chin slightly. Today's affairs will be concluded by the battle between you and me. After the decisive battle between you and me, no matter what the outcome is, the matter will end. Quote. Okay. Uchiha Yokoyama responded immediately and strode into the open space. Hey, Lu Han called out angrily. Huh. Uchiha Henshin frowned, not understanding what Lu Han meant. Don't you think you should explain the funeral? Lu Han raised his finger and pointed at the Uchiha ninjas who gathered together. I and Danzo-sama have both done this. Make it clear that someone will take advantage of the opportunity after this battle in the province is over. Thing. Lu Han, who was covered in blood and looked like he didn't have the strength to fight again, said these words with a sense of humor. It's like a dying clown doing his best. Tsunade's eyes were already filled with sadness. She didn't understand why Han was doing this. Chapter-440-Lu Han vs Uchiha Yokoyama. Tsunade felt chills all over her body, bone-chilling. She encountered an unsolvable problem, and trying to save Han is so unrealistic. Of course, Tsunade can unleash the power in her hands. 12 of the most talented young ninjas in Konoha today, which is a terrifying power, but if compared with the Hyuga clan or the Uchiha clan, there is still a gap that cannot be bridged. In fact, this gap is not a big problem. After all, the Hyuga family is on Han's side. But the problem is, the cold has to fight. As long as he plans to fight, everything Tsunade does is in vain. She can't let herself be the one who ignites the flames of war. Once a melee is triggered, she can't take this responsibility, and she can't do it if it's reasonable. In fact, as long as Han said a word, stop fighting, withdraw, Tsunade will definitely go all out to ensure that Han safely leaves the battlefield. Although there will inevitably be ninja casualties, she does not care. It's still the same sentence, it's cold to fight. Why? What's the reason? Could it be? Tsunade suddenly regained his energy, and then his eyes darkened again. Impossible. If he had any other cards, he should have revealed it long ago. After all, with a seriously injured body fighting for life and death with Uchiha Yokoyama as the worst choice, is he to atone for his sins? Even if he gives up his life. Tsunade's mind was already filled with confusion. She didn't understand why Han was trying to control Danzo. If such a thing was discovered, it would lead to extremely bad consequences. It was impossible for him not to know that even if he was lucky enough to escape today, he would not be able to escape Hokage's censure. Han, what is all this for? Tsunade stared at Lu Han, the more he thought about it, the more frightened he became. The end of the cold is nothing more than those few. Or, die today. Or, wait for Hokage to return and suffer Hokage's endless fury. Or, betray Konoha and endure Konoha's endless pursuit. After all, he has admitted that he wants to control Danzo. Although he said that it was an order from Hokage, it cannot deceive Tsunade. Tsunade knows his teacher too well, and he is very powerful. It is because he is too powerful that he will not use this method on Danzo. The relationship between Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo cannot be explained in a sentence or two. ... Okay, I really don't understand the meaning of your clown-like demeanor. Uchiha Henshin grinned and accepted Luhan's request. Then I will do as you wish, the Uchiha clan will obey. If I die here today, you must not cause trouble, return to the clan immediately, and support the third elder Uchiha Leiyang as the clan leader. This is the order of the clan leader. Those who disobey the clan will be punished as treason. Uchiha Henshin raised his hand. Facing the gathered together, the tribe gave orders. Yes. Hundreds of Uchiha people responded with a bang. They should be very casual, and have no sense of tragic at all, because they understand that the patriarch will not die, and this order will definitely not be used. Among the high-level Uchiha ninjas, there is only one person who did not obey Uchiha Yokoyama's orders. This person is nearly 50 years old, with long black hair, a medium stature, a majestic appearance, and a pair of long and narrow eyes that are impressive. This person, that's Uchiha Leiyang. At this time, anger was already on his face, but he was forcibly suppressed by him. He is older than Uchiha Henshin, but he is Uchiha Henshin's clan brother, but he is also a loser. More than 10 years ago, he competed with Uchiha Henshin for the position of the patriarch. Fall short. The relationship between Uchiha Yokoyama and Uchiha Leiyang is not friendly. This is not a secret within the Uchiha clan. The father of Uchiha Leiyang is the former Great Elder of Uchiha. Normally, the position of the Great Elder will also fall to Uchiha Leiyang. But because he competed for the position of the Patriarch and was suppressed by Uchiha Henshin, he did not become the first Elder. Just now Uchiha Yokoyama said that if he died, the position of the Patriarch would be passed on to him, which was clearly a deliberate joke, or even humiliation. How can Uchiha Leiyang not be angry? After the anger, there was a sense of powerlessness. Although he also had a lot of cronies in the clan, he was completely incomparable with the clan leader. More importantly, he did not have Mangekyo. Without Mangekyo Sharingan, there is a big gap between his strength and Uchiha Yokoyama, and after all, he can't fight. ... Can we start now? Uchiha Henshin spoke again. But he had already changed his face, extremely serious, and there was a cold light in his eyes that made Luhan feel a hint of coolness. Of course. Luhan raised the sickle in his hand. At this moment, many people who cared about Luhan felt nervous. Uchiha Yokoyama disappeared. Boom. Uchiha Henshin appeared in front of Luhan. His great sword and Hengguang's sickle were pressed together, and a terrifying shockwave erupted from the intersection of the two swords, sweeping all around. The battle begins. I'll give you a treat. Uchiha Henshin, who was very close to Luhan, said in a low voice. Ha! Luhan smiled. Boom, 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 boom. The knife shines like a shadow, and the roar is like thunder. The two started a seemingly simple but extremely dangerous duel with cold weapons. The quick ones only had shadows. Most of the ninjas present could not see the movements of the two, including some Jonin, and those who were strong enough to see some ninjas who are clear about the situation. Some frown, some worry, and some simply look like they are watching a play. The cold aura covered in blood fluctuated, and even the moving footsteps were filled with a sense of weakness, as if they would fall down at any time. This is a battle without suspense. Although many people expect miracles, miracles that break common sense should not be regarded as a guarantee of victory. ... This battle was longer than everyone at the scene imagined. The cold weapon showdown alone lasted for half an hour. The huge open space was full of footprints of the two fighting people. Han Guang was stronger than everyone imagined. But instead of hope, it brings more despair. Tsunade can clearly feel that Han's vitality has declined to an extremely dangerous level, and maybe he will faint or die suddenly in the next moment. No, Han can't die. Tsunade clenched his fists in despair, and then disappeared in place.